gentlemen, hasn't it been a bit? It's been a fair wee while since we've last used this channel for anything purposeful, but guess what? The season's back, so am I. What's happening? What's good? Hopefully everything's working and when we switch over and nothing capitulates. We're testing out new overlays and all that as well, so bear with. But hi, hello, what's good? We're back! How was your summer? It was fucking woeful for the most part on my end, but guess what? I seen us at the World Cup. We won a game. Not the worst outcome in the world, all things considered. Hope yous are all well. It's the new season. It's the new start, I guess, for us. I mean, let's just start off with the basics. It's been a pretty interesting summer for us. I mean, we got some good names in the door. Some have looked pretty promising in pre-season. Some just came in, so we can't really put a kind of what to expect on them as of yet, but hey, I mean, Duran looks pretty decent, so hopefully everything kind of works as intended. Hopefully there's no kind of lag or dividends or weird kind of things happening on this end, but we should be good. Otherwise, I'm just pulling up all the other screens that we need to pull up before we begin. But like I said, I hope you are all enjoying yourselves. For those that are just kind of looking or enjoying yourselves in general, I mean, it's going to be a pretty interesting time of things given how the weekend has played out. Obviously, I'm sure that we've seen some of the results. It has kind of been an interesting one for, I think, the most part. Most people were expecting Rangers to beat Dundee United, and that played out as a draw. A lot of people thought that Hearts, 80 minutes into the game, 1-0 up. I think they've got it pretty much on lock. They bottle it, so I mean, not to kind of put the hopes on us a wee bit, but if we win, then it's already a good start. It's more than what we were expecting. It's nice to see McDred. First comment in the new season. How you doing, my guy? Glasgow is forever green. Couldn't have put it better myself, my guy. I mean, but to be fair, the other side, like we said, we just discussed, they kind of had a pretty interesting time of things against Dundee. I don't think they really deserved 3 points. It's hard to kind of argue based on how that game went. I mean, that miss at the end was... I felt bad. I felt bad for Dundee. They probably could have got something out of the game, but fair play to them for being able to get a point in general, because no one was even expecting that much. But enough talk about them. This is about us, and more importantly, our first lineup of the season. A lot of people were kind of debating about how it would look based on the transfer rumours and the kind of mill of outgoings and incomings, let's say. I mean, I'm sure there's a few names that you'll recognise in the team sheet that might probably not be here within the next week or two. It will depend on circumstance, and more or less if someone decides to actually pull the trigger and go basically full blood and take our team apart. But essentially we've got McGregor in the midfield. He's made it clear he wants to stay. That's nice. At least we got one of them cleared up. However, Arlen and Johnston, those are the two that are obviously kind of key figureheads that might be no longer here. I'm sure that you have seen the kind of, well, I'm sure you have seen the rumours, right? Johnston's kind of linked with Everton, and I'm pretty sure it's a lock-on for West Ham, although there are other teams on the outside fringe that might be slightly interested as well. So again, a lot of people are thinking, would we kind of start with Donovan or Ralston? Would that kind of show where Johnston's head at? But if he's starting the night, then at least it means that he's keeping the professional aspect to his game in play, so that's always nice to see. But the rest of the team is pretty much what you would expect, and the big thing and the main thing that I've been wanting us to see for a long fucking time basically is an actual out and out striker. We've got one in Casper Hall. We'll talk about it, but obviously a little bit more as time goes on. We'll kind of wait more until about 10 minutes into kick up before we kind of touch on some of the more interesting aspects and complexities of what's going on at Celtic, and kind of all the intricacies of what we could do in the transfers window, at least what remains of it, because we kind of need to get our shit into gear a little bit. I think that's probably the nicest way to say it. But our line-up is what you would expect, and besides that, I mean, if you take out the transfer rumours, it is what you would pretty much really hope to see. Sinasalo starts in between the sticks. Nice to see you, Kev. Hope you're decent as well, my guy. It's nice to see you. How's your summer been? Pretty alright in some aspects, kind of mid in others. I was kind of just touching on it at the start of the stream. Very pleased with the fact that I got to see our national team do semi-okay at the World Cup, but that Brazil game just took out my soul, honestly. Played alright against Morocco, got unlucky, but if you're just talking in general, relatively kind of peaceful and quiet, I suppose would be the way to say it. Very, very calming. Not too much drama, at the very least, I suppose, which is always a nice thing, I guess. But back to the team. Johnston and Tierney are going to be starting as our fallbacks, and like I said, it'll be interesting to see where Johnston's head's at the day, so hopefully, I mean, he's just got a decent performance locked in him. If he's trying to impress, then this would probably be the best time to do it, right? But the midfield, yeah, I mean, it's as you would expect. McGregor, Negrin, very, very happy. can't really complain about it at all in that aspect. The two centre backs, it's nice to see Carter Vickers over pre-season. He's had a couple of interesting defensive moments, but from the bits that we have seen, he seems a little bit more up to speed, a little bit more kind of on pace and on form, which is always nice. And Trusty's, old reliable. He was pretty kind of good towards the end of last season as well. As much as we want to give him shit for how he started last season, he did kind of come into his own towards the end, but no skills to kind of compensate for it, so that's something to keep in mind. Although again, with the way that our board thinks, it's like, oh well, he's basically a left back now, so Scales will probably end up being a temporary left back option for us until we can get somebody a bit more proper and through the door. And again, if Johnston leaves, it's not as if the ball will be scrambling, because they'll just make the argument, well, we've got two Scottish internationals. It's fine, I guess, in some aspects, but ideally, if we're going to be selling them, we want to get some extra names through the door at the very least. But Celtic Park, as you would expect, is packed out. Doesn't matter if it's a late kick-off, if it's a Monday night kick-off. I mean, we always hate, well, it's just a very silly time to do this, I mean, you'd think the champions should kind of kick off the season, we should kind of set the pace, but I guess they decided not to do that, and I suppose it worked out in our favour, right? I mean, can't really complain about it. But I mean, if one Dundee can win against a Glasgow side earlier in the week, then chances are that they could probably feel a bit bullish about their chances here. Their lineup is pretty much what you would expect, with the kind of new faces, not really anything too different from actually what you kind of used to see. However, I will say, Riley on the left wing used to play for Albion Rovers, very, very solid when he used to play for us. I can't commend the wee man enough. It's good to see him actually starting for Dundee. That's cool as shit. But the rest of the team, yeah, pretty much what you would expect. Got Dan Wright and Obalai, I think that's his name anyway, or Obalai. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, to be honest with you. Kind of starting in the full backs. We've got Goodman, Astley and Bevan as their kind of holding centre back and defensive line. You'd imagine they said the Wright and Wright in the number 3 basically push a little bit further up. I need to kind of lean in to see how it's actually pronounced. Oh, Oretayo. Oh, there we go. Fantastic. At least I know that now. So Oretayo would basically be the one pushing up. He's the new name that I didn't recognise in the starting lineup when I just looked at it there. But Finnegan and of course Hamilton as well, actually being a bit more of an anchor. Usually he's the more midfield aspect and kind of plays in that flat 3. But again, with the formation change that it seems Dundee's kind of gone with, Wesley and Finnegan's pretty interesting. Nice to see you, Robertson. Hail to you as well, my guy. Hope you're well. I just realised they have 2 Bevans. Good for them, man. It's always funny when you see that, so yeah, it's going to be confusing when I say Bevan passes it to Bevan, but there are 2 of them. But again, we know the main threat's always going to be Murray up front, so I mean, the boys are heading out the tunnel now with the trophy. A bit of a delayed flag day for us, but a flag day that comes nonetheless. And like I said, it's not as if any team set the world ablaze. There were a couple of interesting games besides the obvious, right? I mean, we all know the draw between Dundee United and Rangers, but again, a couple of interesting fixtures that you probably would have been like, oh, that's very cool. I mean, St Johnstone and Kelly, what a game that was for St Johnstone, 4-3 in the opening day, kind of shows that they aren't really there defensively, but they seem to be switched on in an attacking sense, so good for them. Aberdeen, like I said, coming back in 2 very late goals, mind you, and some incredible shithousery for the Aberdeen boy to basically kind of put the game to bed against Hearts in the opening day. And of course, well, I mean, the other one was probably, I would say, Motherwell getting that result against Hibs very late on, mind you. I think it was like an 84th minute side scoring the winner in that one. So a couple of interesting starts for some teams, a couple of expected starts from others, but well, it's about what we do tonight. Again, Dundee will be bullish about their chances. They were one of the few teams that managed to get relatively consistent results against us last season, but it is a different feel, a different kind of vibe entirely, because again, we've got O'Neill in a bit more of a stable kind of scenario where he knows what's happening. He's not just kind of operating on the, well, I might not be here in a few months basis. He knows that he's kind of set for now in the meantime anyway, unless things go incredibly south, and it would take a lot for us to ever really look that way when it comes to O'Neill. He's made it clear, still needs some transfers in through the door. The skipper's also made it clear, so a lot of us are feeling a little bit more optimistic at the very least, because it's kind of been publicly stated now that we still need a couple of signings through the door. And if we get a couple over the next few weeks, I mean, I know there's Mika Bauer, there's Guchemis as well, which could be pretty interesting if we get both of them, but you would imagine that would entail either Arm or probably Johnston leaving first, just so the board can cover the funds. Kind of talking about it in the Discord when we kind of sold my aid off, and again, we'll touch on all of the outgoings when the stream, well, kind of gets fully underway, or at least when kick-off kind of comes into play, because it's less than a minute or two out now. And all we can hope is that we don't absolutely bottle them, man. It would be nice to start as you mean to go on, lads. No bullshit, no faff, no fuss. We should be the favourites in this game and very much are in the betting odds, but we don't do none of that promoting stuff. Oh, there's VGA, he's always somewhere in the corner of that stadium. That's cool to see, nice to. Can't play the audio, but you'll never walk alone is going out at full pelt. Nice to see you, Jimmy. Hope you're well, my guy. Let's have a good season. Exactly it, man. Exactly it. All we can do is hope for the best. But for those that are just coming in, or for those that have missed it, we'll read out the lineups one last time. We'll start with the away side, as is customary. It's Goodman in between the sticks with Wright. Then again, I need to lean in to see this. Tayo starting as their kind of fullbacks. I need to remember that's Tayo, not Dio, Tayo. Right, cool, got it. Ashley and Bevan are the two centre back options, with Hamilton playing as their anchor midfielder just ahead of them, with the more advanced midfielders and Wesley and Finnegan playing alongside Charlie Riley and Bevan on the wings, with of course Simon Murray starting as their out and out big ginger man up front, as you would expect. But for Celtic, it's Sinisalo, Johnston and Tierney that kind of hold up that outside triangle with the holding midfielders, and you would expect the holding midfielders to kind of protect the defenders at all costs, and Carter Vickers and Trusty, but it's McGregor, Negrin and on we have. Well, I say we were about to, but the referee's held up for an extra 5 or 10 seconds. But it's the front three that we'll be looking to see fire on all cylinders today. Casper Ho, obviously the key figurehead of this new system for Celtic, and we need to see him hit the ground running ideally as a big signing, and already getting involved. And already some nice little bit of football for us to win the ball back. Incredible. You know, the kind of winger system is going to be Duran that starts on the left. Like I said, he'd probably play that Maeda role a little bit more. So we'll pull up the little stats thing so you can see that. Now we'll do some commentating. How you doing, Virtual? Nice to see you as always, brother. I hope you're well, man. I've seen what you've been saying in the Discord. You're making a lot of good points in there as well, my friend. I will say that much. I'm sure you're feeling a little bit as at least a little more optimistic than we did at this point last season, but still a lot of work to be done. It's just good to see a good, insistent key signing for us. It's always nice. But Dundee are the ones trying to start with the press. Nice little pass back there actually from Hamilton under pressure. Actually shifts it across, and centre back partner tries to send it forward into Ward's space, and slight claims for money for it to be a throw in for them, but don't think the referee was buying it, and the linesman certainly wasn't either, so throw in for Celtic. Oh, I wish I could show you how good the noise is. The atmosphere is definitely bouncing at the very least. A couple of empty seats. Again, keep in mind, Monday night, they picked an incredible time for us to do this for some fucking reason, but we're here nonetheless. We're looking absolutely insane on our kits, by the way, man. Our kits, they've actually got it right this time, man. 3 really, really nice, different variants of kits that are actually very solid. You know what I mean? None of them are bad. Unfortunately, the board are a bit of penny pitching bastards right now, so a lot of us are very begrudgingly not buying it, but if we make some signings, all I will say is one will definitely be purchased at the very least. Nice to see you, Shudo. How you doing, brother? As always, hope you're well, mate. I hope you've kind of recovered a wee bit for your kind of finger injury. Hope you're holding up alright, man. Likewise with just the files out there in general. Hope you're doing alright, man. Nice to see you as well, Snip. Hope you're good as well. All the old G's coming in early doors, man. It's class as always, boys. Class as always. That's a good little pass into space. It could be a good little incentive for... Oh, that's really good for Casper, actually. Nice. I can't believe I'll be saying the name Casper in a positive light this season. This will be fantastic. This will cleanse so many sins from my body. McGregor's just kind of anchored between Trusty and Carter Vickers, but he'll probably be our anchor to counteract what Hamilton's doing for Dundee. That's out towards Tierney and whipped in. Takes a slight deflection. And Casper's kind of already trying to fire up the crowd. That's always nice to see, man. Going for a 3-0. Oh, now that's a confident opening statement. And to be fair, trying to already go for that press. Corner kick in a pretty dangerous area with the kind of physical bodies. We got Casper, big, very solid presence. Negrin as well. If they get it into the box anyway, they could play it short based on them. Oh, they have played it short. That's interesting. You'd have thought that would have been a big chance to test the kind of bigger boys in the box, but we play it safe instead out towards the edge of the area. It's a nice little ball in. Johnston's going to try and get it across. Good block in the end there. But that would tell you, I believe his name is. I need to kind of drill that into my head. But yeah, very decent start for us. Arm looks fired up anyway, certainly trying to play his part. Love the third kit of the shit house and everything. Yeah, genuinely, man, that's the first thought I had. I'm like, basically, if they like put like a noir filter on like an kit and just went, aye, that'll do. The alternate kit is just stunning though, man. Like the kind of cream kit, that's a good. Oh, please get a shot away. This could be a first big chance. It's a good block in the end there. I think it was actually by the striker. I think it was Murray that got himself in the way, but cleared away and comfortably so. Young with our first big opportunity of the season, well blocked in the end by the Dundee defence. Give them credit. Celtic could try to win it back, but I believe might have been offside. If not, there's a foul on that. Slight protests, but nothing too severe. You're on a bus coming back for London Bridge. That's old school as hell, man. Hell yeah, nice to see it, man. I hope your kids enjoyed it, man. It is a very cool piece of architecture, I'll give you that. How are you all day, by the way, man? How's your summer's been? What was your opinions on how we did in the World Cup? What's your opinions on just how things have been in general? He's looking forward to the season ahead. That's an awkward bounce through, actually. There was a slight chase on there. I think Finnegan was the one that was trying to follow him behind. I'm not too sure, though. Got to say, I like Dundee's shape. It's not counterintuitive. They're not trying to be fully defensive. They're more than happy to play open, expansive football in the early stages anyway, which is always a pleasant surprise. At least it's not some shit 5 at the back system that they're trying to play. Good little touch into space as well. They're playing with a bit of consistent speed, give them credit, but Celtic are quite comfortably dealing with it. The press is very consistent for Nygren there. Catches them cold a little bit, forces an awkward pass, but they do retain it well enough. Nice little kind of step in for Johnston. Lovely little touch. Carter Vickers cuts it back in towards Arm. And some nice 1-2 touches for Celtic and under Carter Vickers' control in the end, and eventually we get it on. That is fucking beautiful all round there. Some good play for Dundee, some really solid play for Celtic. That's promising signs that this could be a pretty interesting opening game for us, for sure. Oh, good in the frost, no. That's very ironic to say, considering the fact our country has just been on fire. It's the same as Australia, man. I've seen that some of the kind of like swamplands, or like the badlands, I guess you would call them, right? The outback. Some of that got flooded. Oh, nice little break down the flank here for Dundee. They're trying their best. Tierney does well to hold it up and actually wins a throw in as well. Excellent work for the big man. He'll be looking to set his pace early on this season, man. He came very much alive towards the end of the second half of last season, I have to say. Once he got his first goal, he started to really trickle into his own kind of form, so if that's consistent with how he's been playing in pre-season, at least from what we've seen of him, definitely promising signs. I mean, pre-season games, if you want me to summarise them, because I didn't really stream them, not very good. The 1-1 draw against Shelbourne, it was what it was, you know what I mean? Basically a bunch of B and C team players getting up to speed, can't really argue with it. The full one against Sporting was fucking dreadful. The draw against Milan was alright. That was like slightly promising, but considering the fact we were 2-0 up, it was kind of depressing to see us concede like 2 in like, was it 5-6 minutes? But the boys have started with that kind of same shape that they played in the pre-season games. Definitely kind of playing with like a almost pushed forward anchor in Nygren. So basically you have McGregor in Arm just kind of holding up that midfield space, and then you'll have Carter Vickers or Trusty step forward and act as like a anchor man almost. And it allows Nygren to keep that press alive, gives kind of a good hold-up option for Casper as well. Case in point, there's a good example played in. Casper comes in to collect it, Nygren holds his man up, gives him a bit of time to choose his pass, and eventually it's kind of funneled back into Trusty, who's taken in that space. That's a nice little pass out towards Yank. Interesting to see how he plays out on that left hand side. It's just a bit of a loose ball back, but Tierney should recover it calmly enough. Trusty does indeed retain it from the Scotsman, calm enough. Very solid all round so far, Sinisalo. First real sign of him in this game. Even the Celtic goalkeeper kit is actually quite nice. Good little touch down there for Duran, very nice indeed. He has probably been the biggest bright spark of our pre-season as a whole. That should be a foul, and I think the referee gave it a wee thought, but Wesley did bundle his man over, clear as day, no arguments. Just won a fiver on a scratch card. Yes. Go on, my son, fantastic. Love to see it, man. You avoided Brickdust Lane, thank Christ. Thank Christ, that's all I will say. To be fair, man, the World Cup was good to see, like, just us there. And more importantly, we go there for the first time in like the 28 odd years, and like literally Boston's like, yeah, you're now adopted. We now love you. Oh, that's a big giveaway. That could be a chance for us. Sure, that's a big opportunity, and Casper's first big chance is a snatched one. Let's just kind of call it that. It was a good, again, that's what I'm talking about with Celtic's press. If you allow them into those space, it just gives them options, and Duran kind of just hangs off, allows Nygren into that space, and that's what I'm talking about. He just hangs there, gets the ball straight off a really awkward pass, and because they were expecting Casper to be there, he plays into him instead, and he just doesn't really set himself on the shot. It's the right idea, just try and catch a keeper out of the near post with a quick fire one, but just didn't really hit it in the way he was intending. A little unlucky. Nice to see you, Lawrence, as well, my guy. Hope you're well. What the name of Toboken is that? That is Scandinavian striker football. It's more what he does in the air that's useful than what's on the ground, but yeah, it's very Adam Ida-esque. But we can forgive it, it's, you know, first real match nerves. And his positioning was fantastic. Got to give him credit for that, man. He was in open space, he just had to take the chance. As long as it's not a consistent theme where we're just missing sitters the entire time, then I'll take it. It's not bad. It's signs of life, especially in the early stages of this match. You're not expecting everyone to fire on all cylinders, more or less just kind of get into third gear and trudge along down the path. I said a few other teams have had a few issues with that. It's a good steal for Dundee, but I think there's a foul that's been given. Finnegan's gone down. I'm not sure if it's given against us or for. There's definitely a shot pulling, and Casper just goes in a wee bit too high on them. Yep, definitely a foul on Wesley, no arguments. Or Finnegan, I should say, sorry. Ah, nice to see you as well, Kieran. I didn't even see your chat message on my guy, just literally came up there. How you doing? Hope you're well. I don't know, anytime I see the wee scratch card machines in the off licenses, I always just have that "let's go gambling" in my head, like play every time. Dundee have a set piece chance, they'll swing it in towards the box, see if they can force the issue a little bit. It kind of takes an awkward bobble, but ironically enough it's calmly cleared away in by one of our attacking options. I'll put some good pressure on that to step out to him. McGregor immediately goes on the kind of full court press. I love that. And we've won the ball back exactly the way we intended. A bit of an awkward pass for Yang to Duran, but we're doing well to try and force the issue. Yang tries to win it back, and then Tom actually ends up giving it away. Ball's kind of siphed in behind. Celtic win it back, and maybe just want to take that extra touch to calm the play down a little bit. And that's exactly what the big man does. Good to see you. The two Americans are working well in tandem. It's always pleasant to see. Nice little pass into space for the skipper again. Dundee seem to be happy to give him a lot of the free space in the midfield. That's a good pass actually. Yang's done very fucking well, tearing it into the space. Big chance for Celtic. It should be a goal, and it's gone wide again. Casper's missed a big chance. I can't blame him as much this time because it's more of a reactionary touch from Nygren's shot. I don't think Nygren's shot would have really done much if it got past or under him. But you've got to say, big opportunity for us. Casper does well to try and redirect it, but just doesn't redirect it in between the right posts, just kind of toe pokes it again. Like I said, Scandinavian striker. It's going to be what he does, but tell you what, man, him and Nygren are combining very, very well. It's always good to see. Very good to see indeed. Ball sent forward by Dundee. That's an interesting one. Oh yeah, I forgot I updated on my things. That's very cool. I actually do get to see if that works. Very cool, Crowtails. Nice to see you, my boy. How you doing? Hope you're well. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Welcome back. That's very kind of you, my guy. Now, I did say at the end of last season this was definitely one of those games that I was going to be covering. Usually a few games a month at the very least, and the league opener's obviously a straight hit. Also, I mean, I'm not sure if you have seen it, but for those that haven't, we've been drawn against Lask in the Champions League playoff. Austrian side, very, very solid as well. Might I add, chance for Dundee. Oh, it's awkward. That could have been a goal for Dundee and probably should have been. It's a game of sitters and it's Charlie Riley, the former Albion Rovers man. That would have broke my fucking heart. Honestly, not really the defence that was the problem there. It just kind of takes an awkward bobble. Very fortunate onto Dundee's way, and they try and get the shot away, but it clips the back of the side net and thankfully on the outside of the goal rather than inside. So, got to say, 3 big sitters in the opening 14 minutes. Not sure what that really says about either of us. Seen enough get Duran on, already is. Duran's on the right hand side of the pitch. I've got Yang player on the left. Although honestly I would imagine, I was expecting it to be Tenekte on the left and Yang on the right. Honestly, but it's just shown that chance back again. It's definitely a good opportunity for Dundee, that's the least I'll say about it. Good little shimmy and shake for them to try and get into space. Nice little pass forward to it. Nice little kind of pass in behind actually. Carter's out to cover it. Good stuff, big man, that's solid. Had a good summer, won the League Cup this year. Oh, fucking hell yeah, man. It's always good to see. You talking about for your the team that you play for, local level, that's fucking class, man. Good to hear. Good to hear. We need Scottish talent, wee man, so that's good. Fucking keep it up, man, that's class. I know, see, to be fair, Ken, because I've not streamed in like 3 months, I wasn't expecting anyone to really come in. Or like, I had the goal thing set up in the corner at like 35. There's already like 50 people in here for what I'm seeing, so, you know, it's always a pleasant surprise. But anyone that didn't get notifications, I do apologise if you're just kind of getting a notification about 30 minutes in, because that's what it tends to do, right? Like, I'll be live for 30 minutes, so like, this guy's actually alive, by the way. Nice little steal there. At least attempted steal, I should say. Didn't really work out in the end, but pressure on them's always nice. And they're trying to do that anchor throw for sure. There it is. There's that anchor point, and it nearly works out again. Carter Vickers was switched on this time. Like I said, the big man took pre-season and took it in full advantage. Managed to get his fitness levels up, and big man seems switched up. That's a bit of a loose-ish giveaway for arm, but it's gathered by Tierney, so I won't argue with it too much. Lataya's done very well to kind of pop that back up and forward, and after a few bobbles and bounces around, kind of cleared out towards the side. Oh, you know, yeah. Every like Celtic dad when the weather goes above like 20 degrees. It's now the weather that kills you. Oh, it could have been awkward there. Dundee had a half chance. I think it came off his man, and his man would have been offside anyway, but still, Dundee are trying to force the issue. Give them credit, man. Like I said, they're not trying to sit and pussyfoot around it. They're not trying to kind of play this stale, defensive, get 2 chances a half if you're lucky type of football. They are genuinely trying to go for it. But it leaves them exposed at the back, and Celtic have taken advantage of that once or twice already. If the finishing was there, Celtic could theoretically be 2 to the good, at the very least 2-1 up at this point, if both teams took their chances anyway. Nice little pop and go there between McGregor and Tierney. I feel like we'll be seeing that combination of vast amount this season. Good little steal. That's a lovely little taking touch for Nygren. I'm glad that out of all of the midfielders, Nygren's the one that's got the least rumours going on about him right now. Like, Rio's theorised to leave. McGregor had that brief stint where everyone thought he was leaving until he made it clear that he's quite content to stay as long as there's signings. Obviously, we know what's going on with Arm right now with West Ham. It's pretty much just a case of they decide to like pull the trigger and take a very world-class level player away from us. But Nygren's barely had any rumours about him at all, and he was our best player by a fucking country mile last season, so it's like, won't complain about it. At least we keep him. That's a slight giveaway in the midfield from us, but we want it back by McGregor's right, so that's Cam, played out towards Tierney. Like I said, that combination will be very much prominent. Nice little move there from Arnott. Ball in isn't half bad either. That could have been a bit more dangerous there. Casper was in behind his man just in case, but clear away well, I should say, by Van Gasly in that situation. Dundee are at 6s and 7s trying to defend this, and Celtic are trying to do the 1-2 passing, which can work if you get the kind of speed and tempo right, but this early on in the season it's a bit of a gamble, and there's your case in point. Celtic will still have it out towards the wing. McGregor kind of pops it back towards Carter Vickers, and he's got basically any option on the left hand side of the pitch. Picks his counterpart and Trusty and sends it straight across towards Tierney, who Don sends it back to Trusty. T to T. Young and Duran swap wings. Yeah, it's the rotary winger system that we had last season. It's just the different players. Oh, that's a good chance for us. Good little ball into the box. Could be dangerous. Blocked. Still in the box and dangerous. Not necessarily gathered. Pulled away. Carter Vickers. Go for it, big man. He's gone for it. Oh, I respect it. I mean, it was a shit shot, but I do respect it, man. Can't expect Shaq to score threes. Fair enough, I do respect it. He actually tries to put some bend on it, in fairness to him, man. He tries to kind of get his body over the ball, but then if you've seen Ted Lasso, it's very much when Isaac tries to take that corner and then breaks the window. Just way too much power behind it. That's a good little break forward. Ooh, could have been something there. Well, still could be, to be honest, but did it quick. Never even noticed Duran's on. It's because he's been forced to play a different role for us today. Obviously, with the ongoing transfer business that might be happening with Gershiemis, for those who haven't seen, we're trying to up the ante, get him, but Frassinone are very adamant that they want about 8 million at least. 7.5 up front, so Celtic have to make that decision. Probably, that's why I'm saying if we sell off Johnston or on, chances are Gershiemis comes in. It gives us options for when Jota's back fully fit, because it means that you basically have Tenekte, Yang, Forrest. You would have Gershiemis as well. Duran as an option should you need him. So it's at least it covers the wings in that sense, but it's still problematic because defensively was our issues last season. It was a lot of stale goals that we shouldn't have really given away that cost us certain games, and defensively we've not really done that much. Barely anything in this window. In fact, we've only really sold off Britsky in that sense, which was just a fucking stupid decision. I'll say that as clear as day, man. I really like Nowitzki, and it is a shame we have let him go. It's just Lagerbielke all over again, man. They can't be that shit if you got teams for fucking Portugal and France coming in to scout them out. That tells you that there's some ability about them. That's fucking ability. For Tierney, they'll go, big man, yes! You could tell he was gearing up to fucking slide challenge the second his legs started spinning that way. That was beautiful. Honestly, didn't need to do it, but just for the love of the game, man. You don't even know the starting lineup? Oh, let me fix that for you then, my friend. If you want a little gander at it, here's how both teams are lining up. I suppose I'll leave this screen up for like a second or two. It comes at the expense of you not seeing the score or the stats, but there's your breakdown of it. If you want a little rundown, well, shit, Dundee have a chance, so I have to wait for a second to give said rundown. That's a nice little breakout for the back, and hold on, Celtic counter-attacking fucking masterclass could be on. That is such a good step-in challenge. Fair play to Dundee, and McGregor's touch isn't so great, so I guess I can read the fucking lineups now. Thanks, Carl. Come on, Cal. That could have been better. But for us, it's Sinisalo in between the sticks. Tierney and Johnston's our full-back options. Trusty and Carter Vickers, centre-back options. Nikrin and Arn playing either side of McGregor in the midfield, who's more or less as a CDM right now. It's not necessarily a flat 3. He's noticeably dropped further in than the other two. Duran and Yang are playing that rotary winger system. Technically, you can take either or, but Duran right now is playing out on that kind of right hand side with Yang on the left and Casper Ho playing as our central man in between. Dundee's playing up. I'm sure you were reading that while I was yapping about the other one, so there you go. But yeah, no Scales. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's on the. He's not even on the bench. I thought he was on the bench. My fucking bad, I guess. But we do have options, like I said. I thought Tenekte would have been the one that should have started this match, but obviously O'Neill seems to think that if we're going to develop a system, you might as well develop it as early as possible. Which, yeah, makes sense, but then why wait until a week before the season to fucking sign your key striker? And to be fair, Duran looked really good in that area. That's a good fucking win from us in a very dangerous area. Might have came off a hand, not too sure. Referee says no, but I think... Oh wait, no, it's been pulled back for it, fair enough. Because your point, the wee man's gritty. Like, I mean, I'll say that much. In pre-season he has been very noticeably good. You know what I mean? Scoring pretty much I think in every game he featured in actually. That was really good hold up play for Casper, but it kind of popped the header in behind it. Yeah, it did come off on his hand unfortunately. Totally fair reason to stop the play. Goodman's going to punt this one forward. Despite all the chances, 9 shots between the two sides, 6 in Celtic's favour, however not a single shot on target, which given the calibre of some of the chances that we've seen in the opening 23-4 minutes, it's concerning a little bit. Skills is good in these days. It depends on how silky his hair is. When the locks are flowing, man, so are his challenges. 3 defenders, Carter Vickers tries to pick up Knox. Murray can't play. No, Murray's the one that confuses me. Because he has ability. It's not that we don't like the way he plays, it's just that he's kind of like a contemporary old school centre back, which in the modern game where you're passing around the back line a lot, it's just very high risk, low reward, especially at times. That's a good ball in for Dundee actually, that could be something. That's a good, real good break down the wing. Cross could be coming in, Sinisalo's out to gather it though, coming off a little bit of a threat there down that kind of far side. Thankfully didn't really end up in too much more than a comfortable claim for our goalkeeper, but again, slight signs of life, showing that Dundee can again just break forward, cause some problems. Try to get to sleeping all year as Polish folks shouting Polish. Well, I mean, I don't think they would be shouting in French, would they? That's a good little pass. Very calm for McGregor, but that's a fucking huge, unnecessary gamble. It's a foul that's won in the end by arm, but if it was a clean challenge there on the Belgian for Hamilton, it definitely could have led to some complicated issues. Hey, can't win them all. I know Guinness is usually the kind of call, but in Scotland it tends to be tenants. Come on, man. Mixing both for nuclear warfare in your stomach. I don't even drink, and I already know that would kill a small Victorian child outright. Ball sent forward by Dundee again. They're trying their best to kind of force the issue on our full-backs, but Tierney's actually having a really easy time. He's dealing with the press from Bevan and Finnegan. Whatever one decides to kind of go out with him anyway. White players do nothing as usual. Tierney, only Tierney try to get crosses on. It's because of this system and setup that we've got going now, man. That's what I was explaining with McGregor and Tierney having to do a lot of the interlocking play because Nygren's engaged forward on the press to keep Dundee's backline in an awkward position, which has worked, don't get me wrong, so far, but it means that on the counter-attack the wingers are barely noticeable because they just basically fucking jog back, and by the time they're covered the space, Dundee basically have 2 or 3 extra options to lay off, which is pretty much exactly what's going to happen here as they're breaking away. And case in point, Yang eventually does join in. Dundee go for range and fairness. It's not really a threatening shot, I will say that much, but to go with that type of power for that range, you've got to respect it in his own way, just trying to make sure that the keeper was switched on, but it was comfortably about 5 or 6 yards wide of the post. Yeah, I'm surprised for like all the things that's been invented over time that there isn't like an automatic translator piece. Let's see what they have in like the United Nations meetings, where like whatever native representative will have it transcribed into their language in real time. I don't get why they don't have something like that for like people that travel a lot. Like if you're a businessman or whatever, and you need to be able to speak like to people from international companies, like that would be a pretty handy tool to have. I know you have like translation tools on like Google Translate, but I think it's notoriously bad how inaccurate that can be at times. I thought they would have spoken the universally well-known language of, what would they be like, Spanish? Oh, that's, hold on, chance. That could be really good, Nygren. Good pass, big man. Get it into space. There's Casper on the edge of the box. Gets it into space, shoots, deflects, and over the bar. I really commend the fact that it was good. Again, it's Nygren that's doing the pressing work, man. He's just there. It's a lovely breakaway face. Like, Nygren just gets into the right area, pops it into the space, and again, because he's so far advanced forward, it allows Casper to kind of just hang off the back of the defender, gives Nygren more space to run into. It's like a really good system, but really good block in the end, in fairness, from Bevan. Not their winger, their centre back. Keep in mind they have two of them. My mic's hella low. I can dial up a tad if you need me to. Let's see. Boom. Let's see if that helps a little bit. Wasn't having anyone complaining about my audio issues. If it's the case, you could probably just check on your end. You might have your headphones a bit low, my friend. Good to see you nonetheless, though, Stringology man, as always. Likewise to you, Jay. Hope you're well, mate. Hello to you as well. It's another corner anyway. I kind of looked over half preemptively just in case I'd missed it, but I'm still setting up, so we're fine. That's what I'm saying though, they need to like make that, let Mr. C, if they like find a way to put that in like a earpiece, game changing fucking thing that could be invented. Whoever invents that is set for life. That's an awkward ball into the box. Could be dangerous still though. It's not really dealt with by either team properly. Eventually goes out towards Casper on the far edge of the box, holds it up well enough. Nice little pop back into space, although I think we're going to end up having to go backwards here. Nygren, who quite literally is everywhere, by the way, man. He is genuinely, he's just carried on for last season. Absolute bliss to see that, man. McGregor does his best to try and force the issue. Still trying to force the issue. Getting a bit snappy at the heels. He's still fucking going. Fair play. Dundee do well to get it out towards Tayo. That's a fucking solid little hold-up play. And it was a midfield space. Hamilton. To, I believe, Finnegan there. I could be wrong. And back towards Hamilton after one or two exchanges. Bevan. Towards Astley. They're trying to shift it fast and they're a bit near purpose now, Dundee, but again, half an hour into the game, you have to say Celtic are definitely still the comfortably better side of the two. It's just no real shots on target. Haven't really made Goodman do too much. That's another real good example of the pressing game. Lovely little taking touch for Duran. That's going to open up a lot of running lanes. Good attempt to keep it in play. Yang's done so well to try his best there, but he's just going to get overrun. You could tell as soon as he took that extra touch. Just trying to do a wee bit too much here. Solid for the South Korean, but just a bit. Yeah, you can tell by his own reaction he's not too pleased with it. Like, he does stumble over the ball. He does well to kind of shift it, but you've got to just try and force it at that point. In fairness though, again, solid defensive structure for Dundee to keep that one minimalistically problematic. Won't happen for years, but it would be brilliant. Yeah, like a cyberpunk translation tool type beat. There's a ball forward for Dundee. They do get into the box. But lads, block it. Fucking hell. Bevan's got the shot away. Blocked in the end by, I think, Tierney. Yeah, it was Tierney in the end. That was slightly awkward, man. Trusty just kind of gets caught on the holding line a wee bit too early. Bevan times he's running between them very well. I'm not sure if that's Chris Bevan, if that's another former Albion Rovers player. I don't know if Dundee are just buying former Albion Rovers player, but another one's about to swing in a corner. Riley. He's home. Nice to see you, man. Didn't even see you in chat there, Lizzie. Hope you're well, lass. Your hope we would have scored by now is 100% valid. I mean, we should have. Casper could have had two in the opening 10 minutes. Likewise, Dundee could have had a goal of their own about 4 minutes after that. The opening 15 minutes were full of chances. Since then, it's more or less been push and pull. But I think the only one that's really registered a shot on target so far is Dundee, which, granted, wasn't really a threatening shot, but they're the only one that's really done anything in that sense. We've had a block shot, and that's pretty much it, besides the post near misses. Swung in by Dundee, not necessarily gathered. It's going to be a looping header there, and Sinisalo will kind of comfortably gather in the end. It always is awkward when you see it in those camera angles because you don't know the speed of the ball when it's looping, but yeah, the Finn does a calm enough job of gathering it, spreads the play out, and Celtic are trying to noticeably push the line up. Every centre back's past the halfway line now. Fair enough, Caden. Can't really argue with that one. So far, it's a continuation of last season. Yeah, it feels a wee bit like that. It's not as prominent. Like, again, maybe Casper's first shot probably should have scored it. The second one you can forgive a wee bit more. That is fucking well kept in by Johnston, by the way. Hold on, chance for Celtic. Maybe whipped in and kind of just stabbed away. Celtic are trying to put the pressure on. There's another good example of that. Good for McGregor. Lovely, man. Pass through the legs. Gets away for his man. Trusty will set it up. Nice little ball out towards Tierney. And he goes early trying to force the issue. I can respect it, but I don't think there was any real target that he was aiming for. That's going to be a foul on us, surely. Yeah, Murray just gets a wee bit too physical with his man. You're not enjoying this. You never do as a Celtic fan. It's always like suffering until like 83 minutes into the game and then we do something fucking smashing. The joys of Scottish football, man. You need a hydration break? Nah. I'm so glad that when UEFA did that stuff when they were talking about cancelling about selling off shares of the World Cup to fucking American private companies, because of course Infantino's a fucking scumbag, by the way, man. Like, genuinely, the fact that man hasn't been like sacked into oblivion is insane. The fact he's even allowed to even try and fucking run for another term is a disgrace. But Wales have my respect, man. First nation out of every fucking country on the planet. They basically made it clear, we ain't voting for that prick. You kidding me? He's got more hair on his fucking eyebrows than he has on the rest of his entire body, man. He's just a strange individual. Corner's whipped in. This would be a very interesting time at school. Right after I say that, man. Negron's just kind of dancing around the edge of the area. Nice little pop into space. Orn's first touch isn't ideal, but switched onto it in a well. Back towards Johnston, sends it across. Nice little ball in behind, and I said with this rotary system, all of a sudden you have Duran just kind of vibing on that left hand side with Yank. Gives us options. Is this Glasgow Celtic? It very much is. Look at the Ross, nice to see him, man. You wish to see them live one day. It's definitely a bucket list thing for a lot of people. Definitely, if it's a Champions League night, 100%, man. Plus, we have a lot of love for Napoli because you take very good care of our Scottish internationals. McTominay and Gilmore, absolute fucking ballers, so we love you for that. Plus Maradona, obviously. Talking about like Glasgow's a beautiful city, man. Naples is just as pretty and just as fucking historically important to the game as us. Love to see that though, man. Absolutely love to see that. Everything is too slow. Kind of, yeah, I mean, it is the first game of the season though. They'll keep us in mind. Like, that's why I'm kind of optimistic. It's just, I was even trying to like explain this to people when Rangers drew against Dundee. I'm like, it's the first game of the season. Nothing is determined in the first game of the season. It's just getting people up to fitness, and hopefully some people are up to speed a wee bit earlier than others. And to be fair, like I said, noticeably Duran, Negron, very much switched on. But Casper, obviously, because he's had to take a bit of extra time to settle in the squad, he's just not fully set into the play style that O'Neill's expecting of him. Bear in mind that Bodo is more of a kind of hold-up advanced forward that likes to get on the end of headers. At Celtic will be doing a lot more ball control and hold-up. That's nice for Tierney, man. He's done fucking solid to just lay that off. Basically, the entire Celtic team is inside Dundee's box right now. But Dundee are defending with a lot of valiancy. Give them credit. McGregor has it. Nice little touch into space. Yang cuts it out towards Tierney. Overlapping ball. Could be good! It's a good header as well. But Orns missed it. Or that same post that Casper's missed, those two chances, man. Is there a magnet just anchored on the outside of that post? It's a really good, like, timed run. He gets into the right area as well. Nothing wrong with the ball in for Tierney. Absolutely world class ball in for Tierney. Actually, perfect speed, perfect bounce, and Orn just tries to put a bit too much of the neck muscle behind it. And got to say, sitter number 3. We're missing a few now. For your second language, mate, you speak better fucking English than most English people. Just saying. Yeah, I can commend anyone that speaks a second language in any capacity, man. There's another break forward for us potentially though. Please. Please. Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, come on, man. Wake up. Played back towards the Belgian from McGregor. A lot of space in the area. That's an awkward cross, actually. I mean, the camera angle will probably clarify just how far wide of the post it was, but at least for a half second I thought I was kind of creeping towards an awkward cross / goal type shot. Fox should have scored and put it in. That's two sentences that you definitely hear in other contexts back to back. Bottle of water. Yeah, quite literally. Fuck's sake. That's just because the English have like 400 quadrillion fucking regional accents. Like in Scottish, it's basically you can understand them or you can't. That's us, right? It's either you're from the central belt or below and you can be sort of understood, or you're for the Highlands and you can't. What a fucking header. Holy shit, Carter Vickers, man. He came through like a... That was a ballistic missile. Came in with his arms down at his side and everything, man. He was getting into the perpendicular aerodynamic fall. Scientifically accurate header, man. Fucking ace. I don't know if Johnston kept that in play, but I think the referee's pointed for a throw-in. I want to see that header for Carter Vickers again, man. That must have been the fucking... You had the cheers for the fans. There was like slight appreciation for that. Like, are you kidding me? Tuning in from Western... Oh, fucking hell, man. We have a few Canadians in here, my man. You'll be very much at home. Western Canada, I'm presuming you're talking... what, Vancouver then? You've got to be Vancouver if it's Western Canada. It's usually somewhere around there. I don't think it, like... Yeah, probably. If I'm wrong, I do apologise. I've only got a handful of minutes until half time. Got to say, Celtic have been the better side, although chances have been few and far between. That's probably the nicest way to say it. That's what I'm saying, man. Anyone that can speak two languages, or multiple of them, I respect them. Although it makes me wary if they start swearing at me in their own language, because I don't know if they're insulting me or being nice. That's a good ball. Please play that. Going on, good ball in space. Tierney, good shot, good save as well though. For Goodman, it's the first real test the keeper has genuinely had, and fair fucking play to the guy because he had to react quick. Again, it's just that hold up, having those extra runners there. Duran just keeps the fullbacks held off on for that extra second to find the pass, and Tierney knows that he isn't really going to get the touch with Bevan tracking back, so he just fires it first time. Goodman was switched on and away to it. Solid stop for the keeper. Got to give him credit, man. It's going to be corner number 300,402. Let's see what happens with it. Come on, gentlemen. Ball into the box. That's as much as I can say about it. Johnston just pops it back out towards Nygren. That man has covered basically every blade of grass already, man. Fair play, man. Genuinely solid. Orn's looking for options, but he's only really left with one. Lays it off towards McGregor, past across, Carter Vickers. Johnston, nice, calm it, yes, Carter, fucking, he was looking around to see if there was an open pass, but Dundee full court pressed us, so back to the keeper. Glasgow's a beautiful city. If you go to the right areas, I suppose. I mean, if you go to the south side of Gauga, a wee Geiger counter noise starts playing, you know. But, I mean, it depends. I think it's like more of an architectural thing. Like, if you have an appreciation for old buildings, certain parts of Glasgow do genuinely look cool. I'm kind of figuring out how many additional minutes we've got in a minute or so. It seems that Dundee are the ones trying to kind of go on the final pull here. That's a decent ball in. It's a deflected header. Wasn't really fucking around there, Tierney. He's very much no nonsense this game. Good to see. Os sois escocios, pero verde durante más de 25 años. Estuve celebrando muchos cuando llegando a España. Fucking excellent, man. I don't even know if I pronounced any of that right, but fair fucking play. Love to see that stringology. About an hour from Vancouver. Oh, in the Fraser Valley. Okay, mate, that's sick. Don't me, aye. Been figuring, I kill you. Hey mate, any international Celtics welcome here, regardless. It's very pleasant to have you aboard. That's a good little steal from McGregor if he wants to try and get it forward, gentlemen. Forward. Do not go backwards. Unless it's now. Yes, because you have space. See, that was the risk there. Allen was playing a high fucking gamble there. It worked out for him in the end, but it's twice you've done that now, Chief. Might want to just make sure that your skipper's behind you next time. Negrin's just casually dribbling around an extra 400 feet. Love to see it. Negrin makes me so happy, man. He's genuinely just such a good player to watch. Even when we're being inconsistent, he has genuinely been the standout. Can't say too much about Casper. He's been pretty good at the hold-up play, but again, you base a striker based on what he does when it comes to scoring, and he's just not really switched on as of yet. That's fucking pathetic from Young, I've got to be fully honest. Tries to pull like a La Rondale or some shit and then just misses the ball entirely, kicks it way too hard and it's out for a goal kick. Fabulous. Good for you, my friend. Well, the referee's decided no additional time. Whistle has just decided to go. Kind of interesting, but then again there haven't really been too many stoppages in play, so fair enough. Half time. Not sure what to make of it, honestly. I think we've been okay. I'm not worried. Oh, nice to see that. Hold on, let me just scroll up, see any comments that we missed. You need to be from Glasgow to love it. Yeah, that's a bit more accurate. 100%. Shout out from the US. Nice to see Amber Grubbs. What a fucking name. Grubbs is badass. I like that very much. I'll shout out from Scotland as well. Hope you're... Oh, from South Carolina. You boys are notoriously well known for being absolutely fucking insane, and we love yous for it. It's like people from Florida. We just appreciate yous for just how mental yous are. Yeah, I'm not translated for you. I don't know if Caden can't argue with that. Glasgow's green and white always has been, always will be. Exactly. Unless it's in pictures of the olden days, and then in which case it's black and white. Joke. Cashed in a tie at half. I mean, it's a reasonable approach, I guess. If you're familiar with Scottish football, I would say maybe not the call, because Celtic are notoriously like well known for scoring every goal that we ever fucking basically past the 80th minute. I think we did it like 6 times in the last 10 games last season, you know, towards the end of the stretch to win the title. Like that, it's woven into our soul, against our will or not. Different year, same crap. I mean, I wouldn't say it's as bad. It's not. It's just depth. It's the same issue in that sense. The play style's noticeably a bit more consistent, because at least this time we've had the pre-season to establish the play style. O'Neill's had time to actually, you know, settle into the comfortability of knowing that he's not going to get punted out 3 months in or whatever. It's, you know, there's a few things that are set in place, which is nice. But there's still a lot of things that definitely need fucking sorted, man. Like, again, straight up in that half, I'd say it's just a little bit of defensive awareness at times. I mean, Dundee didn't really do much, but the one real big chance they had, if they put it in the net, they would be very much the happier of the two teams. Thankfully, they missed. But, you know, the two winners have done nothing, and everything is... Well, I think it's because of the shape. Because even though, yeah, like, let's say Yang isn't doing too much when it comes to getting crosses in, but that's because Tierney's overlapping him. Yang's kind of holding up because it's that rotary winger system that we're talking about, where again, the thing with rotary wingers is that they're not going to stick to the byline unless Negrin or Arnd kind of steps out with them and Casper steps in, which hasn't really happened as much. Realistically, what's happened is that you'll have Casper kind of step in to kind of bring Negrin in, And because they'll have to focus on one or the other, it kind of opens up the space for one of the Scandinavian boys to kind of have an open option at all times. We're just not taking that option and getting out to the wings as much, which again makes sense if you're not. It's for anyone that was watching the game, the Dundee United and Rangers game. It's the same type of problem where you just don't have players that are familiar in the positions that they're in. Yang's more comfortable when he's posted out in the right wing and stays there. He's told to stay there. He's not good with the overlap. It's not his style. That's why him and Forrest never tend to be on the pitch at the same time unless there's injuries or people are very much out of energy. But that system's just a little bit more unique in the sense that because again the overlapping fullbacks with Johnston and Tierney, you basically have Duran and Yang that will step in a little bit so that if there's a break for Dundee they drop in a little bit and it gives time for Tierney and Johnston to get back. So it's play a 4-4-2 and just go old school, man. What, even bring the old school commentators back out there going with the old fashioned formation this time. It's going to be an interesting one. To be fair, we could do it. Realistically, I mean, it comes at the expense of taking a midfielder off, which is a problem because our midfield is our strongest aspect of the team. So what do? Maybe if you want to go for a full-on gambit, you could maybe take a defender off and kind of go for a 3 at the back kind of press. Like what would be a 3-4-3 type system, or maybe like a still really wouldn't necessarily. Don't think will change to be that dramatic, to be honest, but I think we will maybe switch where people are positioned in the team. I think we'll push McGregor up a wee bit more so that him and what's the boy's name, Ethan Hamilton I believe his name is, in Dundee's side, because he's trying to just match McGregor the whole time and follow him about the pitch. Anywhere he goes he's following him kind of thing. So if McGregor can break away from him the few times that we've seen him do it, he's got the space to pick a good pass out towards Tierney on the wing, and that's where we're getting our chances from, getting the crosses in. So that's the goal essentially. Can this game end in a tire? Is it elimination format? It's league format, so if you are kind of not up to speed about it, we'll give you a crash course on how the league works. If you win 3 points, if you draw 1, if you lose, nada. Just the shame of knowing that you lost to a team in Scotland, basically, which is already bad enough. So yeah, it's league format, so no eliminations. The only things that would be eliminated if we lost this game is like the willpower and belief in the board. That will fucking assimilate in milliseconds. Although 3 teams from last season dropping points. Well, yeah, I mean, they all have different reasons as to why, right? I mean, Rangers is self-explanatory, going for a bit of a weird signing process where they're just not bringing in the players that make sense. Like, why the fuck are they not bringing in wingers? Why are they starting like fucking? Why are they forcing like Osama and that to run themselves into the? Like, they need depth. Rangers need depth. Hearts a bit more forgiving in the sense that they did quite literally get gutted like a fucking Jason Voorhees victim. Like they lost their manager, like 2 of their key players, as well as some other kind of outside fringe players that were also very, very handy in what they did in their campaign. They brought in some replacements, but I don't think their depth is quite there as of now. Like, again, you still got to the end of the window, and Hearts did this last season where it took them a wee bit of time, but in the final 2 weeks they popped off like 5 or 6 quick fix signings that actually ended up being very beneficial for them. Players like, obviously, Swallow and Braga, to name a few. Kazarides as well, I think they got him about 3 weeks before the season started, so they do business a bit late. The same way that Celtic do, where you'll usually get in the last 2 weeks like a kind of bulk buy of like 2 signings very quickly, or 3 or 4, so maybe both teams have that type of approach, but Celtic really need to, at least in terms of defensive depth, get another body in, because if you're selling off Nowitzki and you're not trying to bring anyone in to cover him, then the defensive options we've got are very limited when you consider the fact that 2 of them are very injury prone. So if Carter Vickers goes down with another injury again, you're fucked. If Trusty goes down with an injury, we're fucked. If Dane goes down, we won't be fucked because, let's be honest, it's Dane. But then we're just left with what Scales. We'll probably have to force Tierney to play as a temporary centre back, which will blow out his hamstring. So yeah, like, we definitely need to bring in some solid options, 100%. Nice to see you, Alan. Hope you're well, my guy. How's the first half been? Solid-ish. I would say it's not depressingly bad, but it's kind of one of those ones where it's just a few missed sitters. Casper, a little bit disappointing, to be honest, which, I mean, for how much I've talked the man up, because anyone that, well, I mean, you can't go back and watch my old VODs, and I should talk about this a little bit before the second half even starts. For those that have been subscribed for a while, you might have noticed that some things have changed on the channel in terms of, like, if you go onto the channel, all the old VODs and stuff have been kind of taken down. It's mostly just to kind of clear up the clutter of what's on stream, so you know, it's a wee bit easier access for people. I'll also be changing the membership things a little bit. I've already changed the prices, but I have to make like little adjustments and have like a process thing reviewed to make sure that I can make a change. But I'm going to delete the Champions tier 1, so it's just the 2 cheaper tiers left, and they've both been knocked down in price. So that's basically all there is to really cover on that. But I'm thinking about bringing back shorts. It depends. I feel like because I'm not going to be covering as many streams as a whole this season, you'll get, like I said, you'll get me for a handful of games every month, guaranteed, regardless. But obviously, in those games, in order to kind of make ends meet content-wise, I might bring shorts back just for those that kind of missed the live streams, because that was a thing that people really liked. Not about last season, but the season before. They're like, that's how I found your channel. I'm like, oh well, cool. I might bring it back for that, but circumstantial, I guess. I was about, man, going to create, not, well, I mean, we have created CFC, that's what I'm saying. We have had chances, and 3 very big ones out of that, we just haven't put them in. I mean, Casper's missed 2 very, I mean, one you can sort of forgive, the other should realistically score, but Arne's header would probably be the miss of the half. So it is one of those, you know, you can't really argue with it in that sense for both teams under 2.5 smart. Yeah, it's going to, it has the same type of feel as last season against St Mirren. That's very kind of you as well. Very, very kind of you as well. Give 20 fucking months, man. Jesus Christ. Comfortably over a year and a half now. That is case in point. If you renew your membership, it's a little bit cheaper for you as well, my guy. So that's always nice to see. But yeah, Amber, if you're thinking betting odds, Celtic don't score many goals, especially if we have a poor first half. Like, if we have a good first half, we tend to kind of kick on, get an extra 1 or 2 in the second, but in a first league game, it tends to be very, very close. There's very few times where we go and blow the back out of the team that we're playing against. It's usually very scrappy, 2-1, 1-0 type of affairs, to be honest with you. It depends on what Dundee do in the second half, like I said, because they have made chances, they have tried to force the issue where they can, but the difficulty obviously comes from what we do, because again, we've had a lot of big chances, and as long as they take them in the second half, we will comfortably win this game by about 3 goals still, or at least on, you know, the average that we've got. But again, nothing's set in stone. You have to be a wee bit more kind of consistent with the play going forward from Celtic's perspective. But Dundee will be fully aware, look, if we can kind of anchor down and fucking stave off the really, really bad waves that Celtic will put on us, we can just pop up with a chance late in the kind of second half, like what Motherwell did to Hibs, kind of soak in that pressure for this kind of start of the second, and then just pop them right at the end, because it works. And again, I mean, you're looking at the stats of a bit more of a kind of limited breakdown ball-wise. We've had 2/3 of it, comfortably more shots, started to put them on target towards the end of the half, but we need to kind of do a bit more in that sense, because a few of the shots have been blocked, but we're doing what we need to do. It's just about kind of putting that final little kind of finishing touch on it. If we can do that, we should be absolutely fine. That's a life expectancy in Glasgow. Not really, man. That's just the average life. That 20 months is like the average time it takes for the Celtic board to pull the trigger on a signing. But I suppose one thing we should kind of say, while we're on like a tiny little break, can we get like rounds of applause for Dyson Maeda and shit, by the way? Just to send the man off in style, because I'm going to miss that man. I already do, to be fully honest with you, man. The fact that, like, couldn't we have like disguised Yang as Maeda? Couldn't we have shaved his head or something and be like, this is him? Please take him instead. Date with Forrest or something. Like, aye, man, Maeda was always Scottish. What are you talking about? I just think we let him go for too little. That's my issue. It's the same as Nowitzki, it'll be the same as Arne, and it'll be the same as Johnston if we let him go to Everton for anything less than fucking 18 odd million. right now the running theme for Johnston at Everton's about, what, I think it's 14 million and then 2.5 in add-ons, so about 16.5. It's fucking pennies. It's nothing for a kid. Like, I mean, Johnston is co-captain in genuinely brilliant future material. He could genuinely be a captain for this club. And our board are like, yeah, we've agreed terms to potentially sell him off to a team that isn't really going to be at the high notes of Champions League fucking football anytime soon. But because they pay money and good amounts of it, they'll let him go. That's literally how Ipswich got Maeda, right? If they were in the Championship, Celtic would have told them fuck off. But because it's Premier League, well, we know. But Maeda has been a genuinely wonderful fucking servant, man. Absolutely wonderful servant. And it's a shame to see him go. Genuine shame to see him go. But I wish him all the best. It's not like Kyogo where he kind of goes out in that bittersweet note where he's like, well, I deserve better. Like, Maeda was a consummate professional. Played for the club and fucking loved it every single second that he was there. He might have dropped his head a few times here and there, but any time he fucking picked it up, he carried that team. So it's a fucking disgrace to see him go for any less than 15, but I genuinely wish him the best. I hope the Premier League savour what they're going to see, which is quite literally about 700 sitters, but every now and then they will witness a man and just a normal human male breaking the fucking sound barrier to get into some challenge on some big ass defender and then pop up with a fucking beautiful goal. And that's when they'll realise what they've got, man. Like, such a fucking good player, but money. But at least we reinvested into Casper. And Casper's honouring Maeda in the best way possible, isn't he? When you think about it, just two really bad cells. Yippee! Yay! Things you love to see. Oh well, can't really argue with it too much. Oh yeah, I didn't even put like a mad subscriber thing check. I should check that. We are trying to get towards 2,000. Ideally, by the end of the season, it's, you know, one of those. I don't really expect it, so that's the plug, I guess. If you want to help out the channel, please like the stream. Probably the best thing you can do. The boys are coming out for the second half now. I'm just checking to see what's good, because we need to make ends meet for the subscribers that we lost, because we lost like 20 over the course of summer due to lack of lives. Not a bit of it. You're very much like an old school father. He's at my house now, man, he doesn't fucking matter to me. Next time I see that cunt is when I'm standing over his goddamn grave. Like, fair enough, I guess. But nah, I like Maeda. And to be fair, it is ironic that he goes to a team that's literally nicknamed the Tractors, right? That's the Tractor Boys, that's their nickname, right? And they've got a man with a literal fucking traction engine inside him, just constantly going, so that'll be fun. But the second half has officially kicked off. And ideally, Celtic will need a goal as soon as possible to settle the nerves and the expectations of the seasons ahead. Obviously, if there is a goal in this half, it will be major for whoever scores it first. Dundee, if they score it, they'll be playing pretty much for a guaranteed point. The same way that, the same way that Dundee United did. Oh, Ipswich play United. Oh, right, I was going to say, I thought you were just getting back. Fair enough, fair, but that's totally valid, right? I forgot you're a United fan. It's Gaz that's Liverpool, isn't it? That's a good ball in the ball. Okay, Jazz, please. Foot, work, nice. Tierney, that's solid ball, less so. Again, we do that thing where we get into the box and we just take that extra touch where it isn't necessarily needed. Slightly saddening, but it is what it is. Well, yeah, I should point out, by the way, like Kevin proved it earlier on with the little membership thing. I've changed like the little GIF thing, so it's not all just McGregor lifting up a trophy. If anyone has like public sub settings on, there's a pretty interesting one that I think you'll like. In homage to Maeda leaving, I decided that it was worthwhile, so it's his overhead kick against Rangers. That's a good little stealing break. Young's been doing everything Dyson's done. Yeah. Goes to you for about 30 minutes, but the 15 minutes we've seen of him, he's at least trying to go for his man. It's the same as Duran whenever he's got the ball on the flank up against that Obertayo. He's just trying to kind of force the issue where he can, but slightly awkward there for Korvakas. Passes it back to Sinisalo, and Tom just gets out of play. McGregor doesn't necessarily win the knock-on, but it should budge straight back through for AT. Nice. McGregor will gather it back from his compatriot at the back. Nice little pass into space. Allen's going to try and shift that immediately. Yep. Joins his man. And like I said, look where Nygren is in that split situation. He's more or less playing as a second striker almost. Get up and force the press. Kind of makes it a wee bit more awkward for them. That's no bother all. Can you take it easy, my man? Enjoy your sporting session. That's a good little step over for Duran. Nice little move into space as well. Good fucking movement. Go on. Can't really argue with that. Had to go back in the end there. Dundee just crowded him out in the end, but again just plays another 1-2 with that defensive line. Nice little attempted pass from McGregor. It's kind of stabbed away by Riley. Gathered back by Celtic, and the movement's nice. The ball over the top could be potentially threatening, but just got a little bit too much speed and got away for Celtic there. Quite calmly dealt away by Dundee in the end. Throw in pretty much in line with our box. No long throw option taken though, very shortly and quickly taken, and straight all the way across the back line. That's going to put Tierney under a bit of pressure for Bevan. Well dealt with by the Scot, can't really argue with him there. That's a nice ball into space too. Celtic are playing very quickly when it's in the midfield and then slowing it down when it gets out towards any side of the pitch. Which just kind of makes you question what the point trying to play fast through the midfield and then slow on the wings would be. You'd feel like it would be the kind of antithesis and do the opposite. If you're going to play Nygren anchored up that high, the best thing you can do is have a runner off of him exactly like that. Just make sure there's an extra option there. Duran gives him that option. Nice little ball. Johnston's tried to carry on the run. He's done alright to force the issue, and it's apparently a foul the other way. I thought it was a corner kick for a brief second, but Johnston's apparently fouled his man. No arguments there. Nah, it does catch him in fairness. Not intentional, so no card's going to be given, but small for the Dundee man, just kind of gets his leg in the way, dangles it out, forces the contact. Knows it's going to be a bit of a slow one. Dundee won't play a 4-1-4-1 next week. This is why Scottish football is so shite. The lower league sides completely change their entire blueprint for one game and then sit in and try to hit us on the break. Well, I mean, to be fair, they were experimenting with this during their pre-season games. When I was looking at their kind of fixture lists and stuff like that, they have stuck with this shape very consistently over the last few match days. It's usually that, or they play like the kind of flat 4-4-2, where they kind of, it's not well, I wouldn't really call it a 4-4-2 actually. It's kind of like a, what do you really call it, man? Like a, it's a weird ass shape, to be honest. You call it like a 4-2-3-2 almost. I like to do a lot of kind of switching about with our midfielders. Like I said, like in this game, you notice Hamilton's noticeably deeper back in. That's just to kind of cover the inside runs for McGregor in case he tries him. Just kind of making sure that he's marked out the game. It's kind of forcing on and Nygren to kind of step out of position and engage with the ball a lot more, which, granted, suits Celtic's style of play. It's not going to be too problematic, but it forces us to almost play Dundee's game a little bit at times. But in the opening stint of this second half, it has pretty much just been one-way traffic. Orn's trying to get his way in behind. Nice little ball into space. Yang's going to stand his man up. He's got two there with him. Laid off towards the edge of the area. It's a nice little touch and take. McGregor does well to hold it up, but still could be awkward. Tierney might just whip this cross in and try and get something on it. There's the opener for Celtic! And who else but him? It's Nygren again! First goal of the season, it's the Super Swede. He's done it again, man. Either way, there was going to be a Celtic man on the end of it, and deservedly, it's easily been the man of the match so far. The man who's been everywhere this game. Of course he's there as well, right on the end of a perfect cross in for who else but Tierney. Like I said in the first half, McGregor, Yang, Tierney, that triangle is going to be so crucial for us in this game, and there's your example. But it's Yang that acts as the lay-off anchor. Usually it's McGregor that lays it off and Tierney just swings it in for the kind of quick cross. But Yang this time very cleverly lays it back towards Tierney, who's got a much better angle at finding either one of the boys in the box. And very similar to his cross into on in the first half. It is dead on, man. Right on the fucking money. Nygren just uses the power of the cross, doesn't put his neck muscles onto it, just redirects it into the corner. Lovely start, man. That is exactly what we needed. Very, very solid, man. Can't argue with that. 1-0. Basically what Virgil just said there, CFC. Although shit, hold on, Dundee are trying to come forward here immediately. Fucking hell, lads. I looked away for 5 milliseconds and already we were trying to be put under defensive pressure. Like I said, the first goal is going to open this game up and Dundee will have to go for it now. So if Celtic grab a second, then things could get interesting. At least Lizzie's happy though. Love to see it. Likewise with Kevin. I didn't even see you pop in, Sweeney. I hope you're good. Don't happen to be related to Sydney by any chance, do you? That's an awkward ball in, cleared away by in the end by Celtic, but it's going to be swung straight back in. It's Dundee. They're not going to do anything else besides try and force it back into the box. And to be fair, they win the header, but it's very softly kind of padded towards Sinisalo, who just gathers it. Tierney screams for any runner, and eventually Yang sets off on a marauding run, kind of cut out in the end by the other Bevan. It's going to be a throw in pretty much on the line with our box. I know that's meant to be let's go, but I read that in French. Lego. Lego. Let's go, man. I'll have to see you Celtic forever. Hope you will, my guy. Big Benji, who else would it be, man? He deserves it. There's actually another potential attack. Ball into space could be dangerous. That could be really dangerous. Cut across. It's a little less ideal than Tierney's crossing ability. Let's say it was a low ball across the face of the 6-yard box. Dundee kind of stab it clear. Celtic retain it. Sinisalo is more or less a centre back option now. Genuinely about 20 yards for his goal. We dare not lose it in a silly way here. Things you'll love to see, man. So we got the goal and immediately the nerves kind of quell and calm themselves a little bit. It's always nice to see. Got the Vickers. Popped in towards McGregor. Nice little shift and shimmy. Good stuff out towards Tierney again. There might be another whip cross coming in. He tries to get it set off in time, but it's cut out in the end by Bevan, the right winger. Out towards that far side again for another corner kick, or near side I should say, so it'll definitely be a kind of far swung in one if we've got Nygren teeing up to come over to this one, which we usually do on that far side. Yep. Not hard to tee this one up, so we know what's exactly going to come in here. Overlapping cross. Got Tierney, Carter Vickers, a few options there. Yep, here it is, played short. That's not the overlapping cross I was expecting. It's actually a low whipped cross that gets through everybody, but Celtic don't really have an intentional direction to go with it, so they just play it back around. Celtic do well to get into the box, so that's really good again for Nick. Oh my god, was that him or was it Duran? Nygren did so well to kind of open up the space. I think it was Duran that actually made the run in behind though. Good solid little oh, that is brilliant by the way. That is this Nygren that lays it off. Lovely little kind of spot. That was genuinely class for Duran. He got unlucky with the ball in, but lovely little taking touch for the Colombian. That's stupendous. Good to see signs of life for him. Very good to see signs of life for him indeed, man. We'll take that every day of the week. That said, that goal's just settled the nerves a wee bit. The boys are starting to play with a bit more freedom, but we don't want to kind of shoot ourselves in the foot and do something very silly. That's why that second might be very, very important for us. There's a good press there from Celtic, very calmly cleared away by Goodman in there, and that fella's been pretty good from how little he's had to honestly do positionally wise. He's been quite there. That's not going to be a foul. Referee, that's soft. Maybe he caught him on the top of the fucking foot or something, but it just did not feel like it was a foul. Yeah, definitely one of those ones. Looking for the contact for sure. Single will count. We've still got PDSD for last season. Although the amount of 1-goal wins that we've had, I think, just for the sake of our sanity, a second would kind of quell the nerves a little bit. You know what I mean? We don't want things to be any more dramatic than they already have been in the opening match day of the Scottish campaign this season. I mean, like I said, some pretty interesting results, but if Celtic can pick up 3 points while the two main rivals drop a few, it's always good for us. But still comfortably over the third day of game left, so as I said, Dundee might just throw caution to the wind in the final 10-15 minutes. See what they can get out of it, so if Celtic can score before then, that would be fantastic. And to be fair, we are trying to go for blood. Not resting on our laurels. Fucking challenge, Yang. There you go, big man. Good fucking shit. Way better for you, man. Gets back, helps out, and that's exactly what we're talking about when you have that overlapping option. Tierney goes to step out, Yang's there back and helps him out anyway. Look, it's making it really hard for Dundee to do anything else besides be very stagnant with their passing. It's basically side to side or lumped forward, and that's about it right now. You can tell that with the instructions that the coach is giving them, because again their shapes condensed noticeably. They're a lot more kind of flat line to each other. Celtic are trying to get in behind off of Yang's ball. Does well to force the issue, and to be fair, credit to the Dundee man. I think he tried to keep it in, well, keep it from going out I should say, but I think we've got a corner kick from it instead. Just slight complaints, but in fairness, it was a good step in challenge, but it is definitely a corner. But to pray genuinely, man, every game was like a proper nail biter. The amount of keratin that came off of people's fingers over the course of that like final 6-week stint. Incredible. The ball swung in and cleared away in the end. Celtic still could do something with it, edge of the area. Oh, Negrin does his best to try and get involved, but it's going to be a foul surely. Yeah, it's kind of clamoured all over him. Just exchange like a wee high five amongst each other to kind of, but fair enough, can't argue with that. Dundee are actually going to be making some, by the looks of it, offensive changes now. This is interesting. They're going early with these ones. They're trying to force the issue early, see if they can kind of upset the rhythm. They might as well, because the first 15 minutes of the second half has pretty much been all Celtic. Just in general, actually, I'm trying to think if they've really done anything at all. Not really. A couple of balls forward, and that's been about it. But Murray, I know, well, Murray and Riley are off, I should say, and it's going to be Hay and Robertson that have came on to replace them. So a little bit more traditionally what you would expect to see from Dundee in their side. Good eye to you as well, David. Nice to see you, mate. Hope you're well, brother. Glad to jump back. Glad to be back, man. Glad to try and get back into the swing of things, you know what I mean? That's why I always apologise in the first stream. It's like the first thing I say, I'm like, I need to get up to speed, so I apologise. It might take me a few streams before I'm like loosey-goosey and able to kind of do things normally again, but I mean, so far, all the things have held up. Camera hasn't crashed. Audio settings, or the new audio settings are working out quite well. That could be a chance. Hold on, I might have to, there's a potential break forward for us. This could be really good ball play forward. Come on, this should be a chance, big chance, come on. Why would you? I mean, I'm going to guess that he presumed that he was following him in behind and he just tried to lay it off without looking, but why the fuck didn't you look? Should just go for goal at that point, but instead he lays it off, and Dundee were very, very calmly and easily able to still have it clear. There was no fucking pressure on it. Which again, considering the speed of that break, man, that should have been at least a chance for a second. Maybe the keeper saves it, but a shot at the fucking least. Hamilton gets a wee bit handsy there. That's going to be a foul. Comfortably so. McGregor plays it quickly. Negrin very, very quickly aware to the press there. Dundee have changed their shape now. It is that flat 4-4-2. They've taken your advice, Virgil. One of the teams did anyway. 4-4-2 is pretty much the shape for Dundee. You got, I think, Bevan and Finnegan almost playing as like, no, maybe Robertson actually playing as their anchor men up front. But it means they're taking a gamble with leaving the midfield space open, so we'll see if it pays off for them. Ball into the box is kind of calmly cleared away in the end by Aslett. Foul. Yes, good shit, Carthor. Good shit indeed. I was taking it quickly. I thought we were going to set up for it. Negrin's actually dancing through them like a ballerina on ice. Then we come through with a challenge of the gods. Oh my god, man, what the fuck? Right, okay, fair enough. Now Dundee are trying to break forward. Trusty, do not. Trusty, yes, you stayed on your feet, man. He's learned. He's learning, gentlemen. He's learned not to fucking randomly stick his leg out and then fucking lose all momentum and easily get bodied. He's actually shown strength that isn't in the air. Fucking incredible. Now Celtic are trying to break forward. McGregor was completely open and Arn's just been blind to the pass. I think if we're going to be making a first change, it might actually be the Belgian. He's had a few missed passes now. In fairness to the man, he stays with the ball, kind of forces it so that Celtic can set their shape at least a little bit easier for the next wave of attacks that are inevitably going to come. Lead shot to right, who cuts it back in the end. Nice little taking touch. Very good movement in fairness. Very good movement for the left back. Nice little ball in behind, but Trusty's going to step forward and steal that one. Good touch. That's what he does well, just taking things out of there. Fucking beautiful, big man. Good little move and go. Duran's going to try and be clever here, you can already tell. Yeah, he did this a lot in that game against Milan. That kind of pressing, force the issue, try and cause some problems. Nearly worked out. Almost identical to how what he did against Middlesbrough as well, actually, now that I think about it. Very similar. It's been a lot more of a consistent 20 minutes for Celtic though. A lot less kind of weird moments here and there, just simple, good, calm football. Yeah, I probably should have overlapped that to McGregor, man. He would have had a clean cross to Casper on the inside there. At least if he went for a loft anyway. Fair play to Wright for keeping that in, that's fucking incredible. Robertson does well to kind of hold that. Ball is awkward in towards Bevan. Back out towards the number 7. Wright's going to try and tries to swing it in. It's an awkward one. Like, if you're the keeper, you're kind of wondering where that's going for the first half second or so, but in the end it's comfortably high and wide of the post. Don't think it was even really meant to be a shot. I think he was trying to go for like a high and swinging cross and just totally scuffed the ball in. Celtic will get the retain from the play. That was a good pressing bit of pressure there for Dundee. Thankfully it didn't work out in their favour. I think Celtic have got a foul for something. I think Ashley's pulling shots. Does the replay clarify it at all? It does. Okay, well yeah, no, there's a shot pull. No arguments here then. Fair enough. No arguments at all. McGregor gets it from that 1-2 from Carter Vickers. Trusty, nice ball into space. He's came out with a bit more fire in his belly in the second half, noticeable. Good to see it. Seen it with Carter Vickers putting in some pretty ferocious challenges in the first half. Trusty's taking the role on in the second half, always good to see. Good little bit of pressing play for Celtic there. It could have been something. Johnston tried to get him behind, but there was always going to be a bit of a issue there with the two defensive options just kind of bundling the ball back towards Goodman in the end. Not sure which one got the final touch in the end, but one of them did. That's actually a really good ball forward for him. I respect that a lot. Nice, really good actually. That could be fucking something short. Rangers, not too bad. It's been spilled. Oh, it's not a bad shot at all for Rangers. You've got to give the man credit. It's a good save for Goodman. It does get spilled out in a very awkward area, but Young takes 1 or 2 touches to set himself. It was actually probably just about bottom corner bound. Maybe this angle will give us a bit more clarification. Yeah, I would have crept in at the bottom post. Keeper definitely had to get firm wrists on that. And a solid defensive leg in to keep that one for being easily tapped in on the rebound. Fair fucking play again. Solid defence for Dundee. Got to tip your hat where it's due. Carter Vickers is just going to pop that one forward for the ball, and from... That's a fucking press, Jesus Christ, they're really going for it, give them credit, but Celtic are... As soon as I was going to say Celtic are keeping it calm and on the ground, as soon as I said that, they tried to go for a whip ball across the back and it nearly took a deflection off a Dundee player. That could have been an easy break for them if they'd fucked that up. Alan's going to send this one forward, I think. That's a fucking ball, that's much more like you on. Much better for Engels, that's really good. Young's caught it back towards Tierney. He's kind of quieting down in the second half, just playing a bit more of a defensive role, the same as Johnston. I think they're letting the wingers do a lot more of the natural attacking and just telling them to stay a bit more settled in. Duran, lovely little kind of step back and lay off. Johnston gives him that option back, and Clomine and Tom just lays it off towards Carter Vickers. McGregor in towards Negrin. Negrin immediately goes to pick out a good pass. There's a chance here. Oh, he's got to do better, but I can respect it. It's so good, Tierney. I would have loved to have seen him score it, for, especially if he took it first time. But he took that extra touch to kill the speed out of the ball, and I just don't think he set himself. We know that he's not naturally right-footed, but he tries it anyway. And, well, it goes about as well as you would expect, straight in the hands of the goalkeeper. So never going to play the ball to Hose he runs through. Now that's genuinely something I would like to see a bit more of. He is doing a lot of off-the-ball running to not get any end supply, but if we're getting chances, I'm not going to argue with it too much. Can't say it's been probably the perfect debut for Casper, but we can see the positives to what his game is. Very solid holder player. That's a poor giveaway for Durant. Gets back and makes it over. Lovely step and challenge for Carter Vickers, man. I'll tell you what, him and Trosty have been very, very convincing today. Have not put a foot wrong between them, man. Very promising to see in the opening kind of game of the season, 100%. Keep the faith another goal is coming. Of course, I mean, to predict to know. Maybe we can do something like that. Actually, Young's got in a very good area from the header that's won. Laid off. McGregor might just have to lay this off for Camille. Nice, Durant. No arguments there, mate. Played back towards Carter Vickers and again towards Trusty, who is now 30 yards from the goal. Lovely ball out towards Tierney. The ball in for Tierney, less ideal, but they're going to be forced to deal with it and put it behind for a corner kick. So not the worst outcome in the world there at all. Very, very solid for Tierney today, man. His deliveries have been very consistent. A couple of good low ones across the face of the box to make it awkward for some of the Dundee defenders, but the high crosses are the ones that are doing the damage, it seems. Another one to be swung in from a set piece opportunity from the corner here. If we can get it in, fantastic. It would put a lot less stress on us. Trusting we're still doing something for the World Cup, I don't know. Slayed off shot. McGregor, please go for a goal back, man. Oh. You could tell as soon as it left his boot it was not going to go in target, but I'll tell you what, man, the Hawk was kind of expecting it, the net just to kind of bulge at the top for a half second there. That was more of what we want to see though. Nice little kind of set piece routine from us, not the usual strategy we go for. Laid off edge of the box, quick fired shot, not on target, but certainly food for thought for Dundee and for the next set piece. They managed to win the knock on for this one. Bit of a chase down going on. Johnston's done really well to hold up. Didn't look like it was particularly a throw in. I mean, Johnston's reaction says all the kind of geese at this kind of side eye smirk as if to be like, alright, fair enough, mate. Celebrating one on a throw in, but then again, if they've got a centre back coming up to take this, you know exactly the game plan. Very long throw in into the box, it's going to happen. Was Carter Vickers playing at the World Cup? He was not, because he was still injured. I feel like if he was fit, then they would have probably took him over Trusty, to be honest. But again, Trusty did very well at the World Cup. One of the few Celtic boys that scored. Oh, here we go, here's a chance for Casper to show off what he can do. Fucking exactly that, put some pressure on them, and he doesn't win the ball there, but that's what he can do. Very good, fucking solid pressing there. Forces the issue, and again we win the ball back because of it, because they have to force it forward, and Celtic just retain. and we can go again. Casper's not had a bad game by any means. He just, I think for his own sake, because of the kind of 2 big chances he's missed in the opening 15 minutes of the game, a goal for his sanity would do him some good. That is a horrible ball out for Sinisalo, though I've got to be crystal clear about that. That is fucking woeful, mate. I'm going to argue with it too much, but here are a couple of half-groans around the stadium though. It's a nice little ball in behind, nice little move again actually to get out towards right, but Celtic are keeping them penciled and pressed. There's always 2 bodies on any single Dundee player when they go forward. Yang's done. We'll call that a task failed successfully skill move. Don't think he was meaning to do that, but it worked out nonetheless for him. Celtic have it in that area again. Yang, nice. That is a very clever pass. Opens up the lanes for us. McGregor's going to lay it short towards Art. Take a wee gander forward, look for any open lanes. Young's basically just hanging off the back of him as an extra option, and on kind of gives him a wee symbol to be like, maybe try and overlap me there. Again, a wee few tactical changes for O'Neill at half time. You can tell it's noticeable because how deeper in our fullbacks are sitting overall. Cannot complain about the standard of the way we've played in the second half. It's a lot more improved from the first. But I think just for our sanity's sake, a second would be nice. It would tie us for top of the table as well along the lines we sit mirroring. That's a good ball in behind. It's not the worst idea in the world again. Tries to get it across, but Nygren and Casper both pointing out that they were both behind the ball. Maybe one of the more sensible options there would be try and loop it in, but again, I didn't really take too much time to look up. He had to get the cross in quickly, so I can't really blame it too much. Sent forward by Dundee down the line, but Celtic immediately put bodies on and put some pressure on. Casper's pressing them basically at the edge of their own box. It's making it awkward for them. Johnston's done fucking excellent to win that back. Really good, man. Really good indeed. Nygren, ball in. Casper tries to stick his ankle out to get on the end of it. Doesn't work out. Dundee try to claim for something, but the referee doesn't really care too much about it. Plays it on. Celtic get it into the box. It's a nice little kind of 1-2 actually. Nygren's whip cross wasn't bad. Maybe just a bit too low for my liking there. It's easily cleared away by Dundee in the end, and now Trusty has to, yes, big man, get your body in front, stop like not trying to dangle your leg out and make sure that you get the foot, just make sure you're physically in front of your man. So much better for Trusty in the opening game, man. What games last season I was begging him to play like this? He's just staring out the gate, man. Keep this up for the rest of the season, mate. You're an absolute gem. I think Carter Vickers have been very, very convincing. It's hard to argue with that. They haven't had too much to do, admittedly, but certainly impressive from a technical perspective that they're not, you know, snatching the ball, they're not tripping up over themselves or playing loose passes. It's confident, quick, low, beautiful hard hit passes. They know what they're doing. Their touches are very confident. I mean, Trusty's literally, as we speak, galloping into the half and picks a really good ball into space, but Dundee try and stick their leg in the way. That's going to be an advantage for Dundee regardless, but they're going to try and run forward with it, see what they can do. But you've got 4 or 5 Celtic bodies ready to track back at any given point in time. Goes back to Sinisalo and he does not fuck around. Just gets it up the pitch. Even if Dundee have the ball, it's not the worst case scenario. Should have accepted 25 million bid from West Ham. I mean, it's still actively ongoing. They just need to get more than what they were trying to pay us up front. I think it was like 18 million and then a whole bunch of add-ons, but Celtic were like, nah man, we need like at least like 24, 25 up front. Yeah, still very much the same in terms of start line. Celtic have had a bit more success in terms of shots on target, not as many shots as a whole though. 14 shots, 4 on target for us to Dundee's 7. Not too much time left in this game. You imagine with additional time, probably give or take about 15 minutes. Kind of another season of this. Well, we certainly need improvements in some areas. It's quite clear there are depth issues, especially in certain areas of the park, but I think overall we can't complain about how we've played as a whole. We've managed to get ourselves on the board, which is always nice, which, you know, that gives us something to smile about, but obviously the problem then becomes how do you deal with the fatigue when that sets in, because again this is the first game of the season when they're meant to be at their, well, maybe not necessarily their freshest, right, that wouldn't be the term, but certainly when they should be at their least fatigued. And a couple of bodies do look a wee bit leggy. I mean, that can be for different reasons. Some of them genuinely just obviously have been at the club for less than a couple of weeks. There's a couple of changes getting ready to come on now. And as you would expect, there are winger changes, which means we'll probably go going back to that same system in the first half just to keep them occupied and that wing press engaged. Could have been 3-0 by now. Honestly, yeah. I mean, if every team took if every chance was taken today, it could probably be about 4-1. Dundee could have had one at the kind of 14th minute mark. I think that chance came on after obviously Casper missed his 2 big chances on missing that header. A couple of decent half chances for us, but we have got a goal, which is nice, but still feels kind of similar to the problem we've always been having, where it's like, well, cool, but we need to basically have consistent means of scoring goals. We can't be having fucking 10-15 shots in one goal out of it, because there are teams that will have games against us this season where they'll have 3 shots and score twice. That's just how it goes. And again, it's not done yet. Dundee will still feel very optimistic about their chances, but there are your confirmed changes. Tenecti and Forrest are indeed on. Yang and Duran are off. That's all there business for the new boys is to deal with this corner. It's not really fully clear. There's a couple of claims for offside, and I think they knew it was anyway, so we just decided to have like a half punt at it. I respect it anyway, but yeah, Robertson was always offside when the ball kind of bounced out back towards him. I think if you're Dundee, you're not. What they did, but didn't they fucking do this? Like, what is it with league games where any time that Forrest is brought on, they immediately counteract it with a brother? How the fuck is he at Dundee now? I didn't even know. I missed that transfer entirely. But I guess Alan Forrest will be coming on for Dundee. He literally featured at the last league game at Celtic Park. And he came on for Hearts. Same rules apply, man. Forrest to V Forrest. And the big 26-27. Incredible. There's also another change one up alongside him. We'll confirm once we know. But Bevan's obviously going to be coming off of Forrest. That's a straightforward change. I think it's right that will be coming off if it's a defensive change. Seems like that's the case, and his first course of action is to throw a ball. But yeah, it's Halliday. Killer combination of fucking players that always end up playing against Celtic in different situations and scenarios. So they do well to kind of force the issue there. That should be pretty calmly retained by us. 10 minutes left in this one, not too much time left at all, so I suppose we should do a small little bit of plugging if you don't mind. Hello, hi, what's good? Please consider subscribing. We're trying to get ourselves kind of slowly towards 2,000, little bit by little bit. If you don't mind helping us out, that'd be the best way to do that. I'm just kind of holding up because there is a half chance for Dundee, and it's like, why do you have to do this now? Fuck off. But if you're already subscribed, just consider liking the stream. That's everything. I'm going to go back to the main screen just in case. Got plenty of time left for Dundee to find something out of this game. Against Celtic haven't been pitch perfect. Very hard to argue we've been out of anything more than third gear today. Oh, there is a big chance, oh for fuck's sake, what a save, Sinisalo. Already proven about 30 times more beneficial than Schmeichel. That is... I mean, I'm presuming that he sees it a wee bit late because he waits for it to bounce down, but it bounces up right in front of him. It's a type of shot a goalkeeper hates, that type of bouncing header. It's a strong wrist for the Finn, and it needed to be because if he spilled it back out, there was a tap in for Dundee. Very similar to what Goodman managed to do about 10-15 minutes ago, basically. Well, there's only been one offside in the game, just because of the way that both teams are set up to break. It's very counter-pressing, so there's not a lot of random balls over the top, like Dundee are trying to go down the wings and then funnel it in with quick crosses. And try to put that one in behind. I mean, the camera cut back and it's just out for a goal kick, so I'm presuming Cutler-Vickers just bodied these men. What subs have been made so far? Winger changes. Tenecte and Forrest are on for us. Duran and Yang are off. Yeah, good strong wrist. And 2 more changes to come. McCowan and Donovan by the looks of it. Oh, but taking Negro, like, I can't say I agree with that one. Maybe if you take him off for Arm, that would make sense. McCowan for Arm would be a much more sensible substitution, but Negrin has been quite literally our best player on the park today. Maybe we're keeping him, obviously, fit for future games, but McCowan and Donovan, 2 Scotsmen that will be coming on. Negrin and Tierney are the ones coming off, so I'd imagine Donovan will have to be playing out of position, which just adds to the whole we need depth argument, because why the fuck is that happening? I think there's a high boot in there for sure, but referee waves play on, so Celtic won't argue with it too much. There's an overlapping pass if we want to take it, which is exactly what we do. McGregor's under a bit of pressure, that's solid. There's a hell that's just, yep, there we go. Figured that one out, played back towards Carter-Vickers, and he'll probably just, yep. Sinisalo has it back. We should probably go for a long ball here if we want to try something different, which we actually have done. And it's worked out brilliantly, because there's Forrest, breaking chance, into the box, Tenecte, come on man. Oh, dude, we're trying to do too much again. It's the exact same issue, like, just fucking take a touch and hit it, lads. Stop trying to be too clever. We talked about how Tenecte was a solid player, but that was an issue that he had, and it's just added to that stigma a wee bit more there. Ball whipped across, big chance! Oh, come on! Casper's missed another sitter. He's missed, again, it's off by like a fucking millimetre off the post. It's a lovely little backheel touch. I've got to say, the ball in for Donovan was nice. The little redirect is so clean, and Casper does so well to get the shot off. It gets it under the leg of the defender, but the defender closed down the angle just enough that it was wide of the post. It's such an unfortunate, I can't say it's a sitter, but it's a big chance to kill the game, man. Dundee know if that goes in, it's game over. They're kind of sink into their chairs a wee bit, but that's going to just give them the incentive. Like, hey, maybe they're a big man is on our side. Maybe we can grab something out of this. Genuinely, man, 4 fucking sitters in the opening match. Welcome back, Celtic Football Club. McGregor goes for edge. Oh, come on, man, off the fucking post. And now we miss another chance. What the fuck is going on, man? Forrest misses on the Trivela, but McGregor's just rattled the post with an absolute picture shot. Case in fucking point. God, it's toying with us, man. It's a really good strike for McGregor. It's perfect. But it pops back off the post, basically straight at him. Oh, it's such a good shot for that angle as well. It deserved to go in, man. It's so fucking dumb. This goes back to that earlier comment, can't have another season of this. Well, I guess we can, man. We're being forced to endure it in real fucking time. We're really pressing for it. We want to kill this game dead, 100%. Ball into the dangerous area. Dundee try to force it with a kind of loose run in, but I think Robertson even knew as soon as he went up he wasn't getting on it. That just kind of bailed out halfway through. Now Celtic are on the break again here. Big chance, McCowan. Good fucking pass, fella. Lovely. Out towards Tenecte. There we go. Good step in. Played in towards space. Big chance for Celtic. Takes a big deflection. There's claims for something, I guess. I don't know what the referee's... No. I was going to say there was a few half appeals for the Celtic boys, not necessarily sure what that is. Casper gets into grey areas, just needs to finish. Yeah, he just needs that goal, that first goal for his confidence. Kind of looked worse in real time, but when you see the replay back, it's really good defending to kind of block the shot essentially. It just kind of makes it hard for Casper to get it on target. Dundee are starting to play a bit more of an exasperated and exhausted game. It's basically take a touch and try and get it up the field as fast as possible. They're not really trying to do any team building, it's more or less get it up and hope. It's in that territory now with the time running out. Only a few minutes left and whatever's added on in of additional time to boot. Again, despite the fact we missed a whole bunch of chances for no fucking reason, I can't really argue with the way we've played. A couple of good moments here and there for sure, definitely not going to argue with the way it's unfolded, but again, no one goal lead is safe. It's never a comfortable fucking position to be in. I think there's a nice little pass in there for Dundee if they want to wait for him. Yeah, that was clever. Honestly, game credit where it's due. Ball's whipped in by Dundee. Sinicello comes out and claims. Good gloves, my guy. Good hands. Gets onto it. Makes sure there's no real issues. Forrest has been very good since he's came on for Dundee, putting a couple of half dangerous crosses. Best chance of the game definitely came after that ball into Bevan. Dundee are starting to kind of settle their shape down a bit, so they're probably just trying to hold on for that one big breaking chance. Shouldn't be a lot of extra time, genuinely about 2 or 3. Goal difference will keep us further off. Very few teams actually won outright, by the way, if you think about it. But your true on goals for probably right now would be in third. But an extra goal and we're basically on top. That's how little the gaps matter at this stage. I genuinely thought he was going to tee up to go for a shot there. Johnston's been kind of shimmied out to the left. That's a good ball in. Oh, good fucking football, boys. Come on, get a goal here. Tenecti skied it. It's such good football. It's so nice. It's beautiful. It is majestic. Until the fucking part that matters. Like, come on, man. It's just Tenecti taking that extra touch again. The first touch should be enough to set it up, man. But then he shimmies it again, closes the angle down even more, so the only place he's got to go is the top corner. So he fucking misses. Excellent work, Sebastian. Very cool. It's basically a fucking like FIFA with the sliders down, except the sliders are like goal finishing ability 0. Dundee have gone for it! Oh my fucking god, I thought Dundee had scored there. Oh, the fear of God sank into my soul there. That could have been fucking bad. It's not a bad. It's very good for a strike, but thankfully that camera angle clarifies it a bit more. It was a lot further off target than I thought, but who's on top? St Mirren? I know, who would have thought that sentence? Can't wait for all the St Mirren. Stop the count! One game into the season. You know, no, genuinely, virtually, you're spot on. Can't say anything too bad about Hull. He's had some very good chances. That's, yeah, like it'd be nice to see him get a goal, but hold up play, very promising. It's just good to have a out and out big man, you know, a Georgios Samaras, kind of Chris Sutton type of striker that's just kind of got that hold up play about him as well. A few positives. I mean, the big positive about you know, Nikon, as always. As we're kind of coming to the end of the game, we're not too much time left. Please consider subscribing if you've been here for the whole stream, or if you're just joining us. Any additional help is appreciated. Subscriptions are free after all. Trying to get towards 2,000 by the time we call this season up and done. He has been booked. Kind of has to go in for the challenge at that point, but time is burning out only from this point. About 2 minutes to go. 3 additional minutes as a whole. It's very much very eerily similar to that first game of the season last season against St Mirren. Different scenario because we scored late in that game, but it's very similar. But it's like you can tell there's definitely a few things that are needing tweaked and worked on. I think O'Neill will definitely take a lot of positives out of this one. There's a card coming out again. This time for Arnott. I think it was for that kind of pullback on the breakaway player, I'd imagine. And it's, oh Jesus Christ, so this gives me flashbacks. This is pretty much exactly where Hearts had their free kick at the end of the last game of the season last season. It's literally the exact same territory. I think they'll be hoping not to put in any less of a worse ball. Where's our finishing, man? I know it's been very lacklustre at times. That could have bobbled to... If it bobbled to anyone other than a defender, that could have been problematic, but thankfully, the Carter Vickers, let's go straight over the bar, man, straight out of the stadium and probably into the fucking stratosphere, to be honest with you, but again, can't fault the man, you have to go for it at that point. But I suppose if you want a little look at the table right now, we can do that. Just pull it up for you. That's where it is as it stands. St Mirren are vibing casually at the top, but again, it's very circumstantial on goals for, but all the teams that needed to get results. I mean, I don't think a lot of them will be too displeased by that at all. I mean, Celtic currently as it stands are 5th, but technically tied for 5th with like 12 teams. It's just genuinely because of the goals for aspect, because Dundee and Motherwell won both of their games 2-1 respectively. But they can't say they kept a clean sheet like we have, although again there's still 30 seconds left and I don't want to jinx us, so I'm just going to fucking shut my mouth just in case. Good little break forward actually from Dundee as I say that. Do not fucking try me, please. Sent forward and up and away, thankfully, in the end. Back to the stats while we wait for this one to wrap up. We're basically on referee's time. When he blows a whistle is basically when the game's done. Sent forward. Thought the referee was going to allow it to play, but he blows the whistle instead. Gentlemen! Yes, alright, we take that. It's not fucking brilliant by any means. It's alright enough. It's okay. It's tolerable. It's a Celtic performance. But it is full time and we get across the line very, I guess, comfortably in the end, to be honest. There wasn't as much drama for us, apart from that one half chance from Bevan off of the cross for Forrest, but Celtic missed about 6 fucking sitters, so that is easily the biggest problem that we can identify out of that game. Still that lack of confidence when it comes to getting up front, but as Lizzie's just so beautifully put it, 3 points will do. 3 points are all that fucking matters at the stage of the season. You're just trying to get the boys up to fitness and up to speed, right? You don't want them to be, breaking out the fucking 5th gear runs and busting their hamstrings before any crucial game can come through. It was also good to get a kind of early sighting of what Hull can offer, and I'm very positively optimistic. Again, it would have been nice if he took one of his chances, but I think, given the circumstance, very solid showing for what we can get out of him, and hopefully we can kind of kick on through there. But again, just that fucking, it's that first shot that annoys me more than anything. If he scored that, he would have probably scored a hat trick this game with his confidence, but just getting into the swing of things. But his hold up play was very much a good aspect. We haven't had a striker that's been able to do that for a long time, man, so it allowed Nygren to get involved in the game, and it led to us obviously getting a goal through the man. And of course Nygren deserves it, 100% man of the match. But for those that are new here, there is a thing that we do every time that we win a game anyway, where we yell "Yas" very loudly. I apologise to my neighbours in advance, but it has to be done now realistically. So if you are new here, like I said, please consider subscribing, because you'll get to see me do this every time that we get a victory that I'm live for. Oh. It's been too fucking long, hasn't it? Right, gentlemen, for the fucking victory, for the win, and for a sexy bloke for Sweden. Yes! We take it. Very solid. It doesn't get a full pelt passionate yes, but it gets a solid good for you boys. We got what we needed out of that. Very, very solid. Very, very much okay. Can't argue with it too much, but definitely some signs of progression that we need to get right in some aspects and areas for sure. I can't really argue with the defensive side of things. I mean, Trusty and Carter Vickers were fucking incredible today. Not a single complaint whatsoever, so from that perspective, fair play to them. But there you go, full time. 1-0, stats wise, pretty much as you would expect. Celtic do deserve it. Only one offside the entire game. That stat held up true until the end. So you got to give both teams credit. At least their runs were timed well enough. And I mean, for the most part, we can't really argue with it. Casper, I said, didn't have the best introduction, but I can't really argue with what we've seen. Nygren was very solid on. Had moments where he looked a wee bit leggy, but kind of came in clutch with the passing towards the end. Johnston was very, very solid. Tierney, underrated bowler as always, absolutely fucking solid with the crossing. By the way, genuinely fantastic with some of the crossing that he's putting in the box over the course of that 90 minutes there. So if it's not Nikrin that deserves man of the match, and it is Nikrin that deserves man of the match, anyone else realistically doesn't deserve it. If anyone besides Nikrin earned that right, would have to give it to Tierney, because she was genuinely very much aware and all over the place today. I mean, Sinisalo for that save, I suppose, if you want to really kind of, well, yeah, quite literally, someone's just kind of putting chat there. Yeah, like if Cine doesn't make that save, we don't get a point out of the game, so you can maybe make a very small case for him, but he just didn't have as much to do. Like, if he'd made 5 or 6 saves, 100% I can make that case, but I think for what we needed today, I think it goes to Nigrin just about. Very, very solid in that sense. 3 points will absolutely do. Not a single argument for me on that front. We just needed to get something on the board, which we did, so content enough, you know what I mean. 3 points is always solid. Kieran Tierney for you. Yeah, I don't honestly blame you at all, is he? I genuinely don't blame you at all. I think it's a reasonable enough, like, he was the one that got the crosses in, he was the one that was opening up lanes. I know there was a fella that was saying, well, why aren't the wingers doing that for us? That's why, because if you have extra anchors, then you can kind of get a layoff cross that's arced in, and it was one of the few times where we actually got a cross in for the edge of the box rather than trying to get to the byline and cross it in. And it just kind of threw off the defensive angle for Dundee. And like I said, if it wasn't Nygren that was making the bullet run in behind to get on the end of it, it was 100% going to be Casper's first goal. So that's why I'm like, I can't feel too bad for him in that sense, because Casper would have scored if Nygren wasn't there. They were both kind of in the same area, but Nygren was running with pace, so no arguments. I think he deserves the goal, deserves man of the match 100% in my eyes. Convincing enough. Question marks over who, although it's just the first game. Yeah, genuinely, that's the way to look at it as well. It takes a few games to settle in. That's why most of us, most Celtic fans, were kind of saying, well, why didn't we sign him when we first were linked with him at the start of the window? Because then he could have had this entire pre-season to get up to speed, rather than kind of having to hit the ground running, essentially. And he had good moments today for sure, but again, a striker you base off, can they score goals? He missed some chances today. It's hard to argue against that, but so did so many other players. I mean, Arn missed a point blank header from basically fucking 6 yards, and he's currently valued at 25 million. So it shows you that, you know, a couple of loose odds and ends still need to be tightened up and fixed. But again, I think you can't argue with it overall. I think the performance was solid enough from what we've seen for the attackers. Duran had some good runs and dribbles. Yagan was actually very convincing at times too, put some really good defensive challenges. So I can't say anyone was miserably bad, right? Well, I suppose that's the good positive to take, right? If you're being like 100% honest, it's the fact that nobody was shit, right? There wasn't anybody that stood out like, get that man off the park, he's fucking horrible. Like, everyone did their part. Like I said, defensively, front to back, we were fine. Like, the defensive line was the most composed I've seen them in a long time. Minister, I said, that half chance for Forrest Cross, that was it. Trusty was very impressive today though, especially with the physicality, getting in front of his man, because the amount of times last season where I'd see him try to like shoulder him and try and like back him up. No, just get your entire body in the fucking way, and if you're in doubt, put the ball back to Sinisalo, because you can trust your goalkeeper to take a touch and not go under him like fucking Schmeichel. So yeah, and Sinisalo's already proven exactly why most of us are quite not necessarily content with being a starting goalkeeper, but why we're a bit more optimistic that we're not going to concede as many shitty goals. So I think overall you would kind of class it as like a B minus, B plus type performance. Nothing to really write home about, but if you're just trying to get a passing grade, it's good enough. And Celtic will take that, right? 3 points is 3 points. It's more than what some other teams got that really needed it at this stage in the season, especially if you're trying to make an early kind of statement. See, it's not a statement by any means. This is more like a kind of side comment that's kind of said passive aggressively from Celtic's perspective, right? It's just kind of like, aye, mate, we're still fucking here, don't you worry about it. But everyone else is like, right, well, where's the fireworks? He's just brought in this massive fucking striker. It's like, yeah, but we're also about to lose like half of our team through signings and outgoings. So, I mean, that team will not be the same team that plays the first game in like September, for instance, right? There's going to be players that leave and come in that time, so I'm not going to judge it too much as of now, but you've got to kind of keep an eye on things over the next few weeks, because if we don't start getting names and numbers through the door, that's when things get problematic. Because again, now that we know who we've got in the Champions League, Lask is not a fucking easy task. They're a solid defensive side that know how to get the best out of their teams. They won 3-0 on their opening day. they didn't look defensively shabby at all, so we need to keep a tab on them, see how that goes, and if we can get through the Champions League playoffs, then a bit of extra money into the board's pocket means that they'll be a bit more happy to spend some extra money. Maybe we can start thinking about getting bigger names, right? If you're thinking about obviously bringing in someone like James, then hey, maybe if we sell off Johnston, we can put that money in the extra funds we get from on towards getting a either very solid optional midfielder, or if we want to go all out, get someone like an Aaron Hickey for a defensive option. But I think overall pretty happy with that. Can't really complain at all. And again, the support in this stream, very pleasant. Getting a few subscribers back, which is always nice. We managed to claw back about, we actually managed to claw back about 8, which is pretty reasonable. So I'm not going to complain too much in that sense. You know what I mean? So to anyone that's been here for the whole stream, thank you very much for joining us and doing so. I should kind of clarify for those that will be heading off, if you want to know the next one I'll be live for, because chances are it won't be this one. I don't honestly see a reason why that would be the case, but if not, then probably if it's not that one, then you'll probably get me for the Dundee United game, and obviously you get me for the kind of Celtic and last match. So you got me in 2 games in 3 days. I suppose that's something if you're a Caucasian fan, I suppose. I still hate saying that, that's cringe as fuck. But anyone that's a fan of the channel, I suppose, if you're like, oh shit, I'm not going to see him as much this season, you've got me twice in 1 week at the very least, and obviously, depending on what happens in that game, you'll kind of get me for the other last match. Same with Celtic and Aberdeen, you'll get me on the 2nd of September, guaranteed, no matter what, because that's a pretty crucial game, as obviously Celtic and Rangers, and Motherwell and Celtic, so there's definitely a few games. In fact, basically these 3 you'll definitely see me live for. You'll see me live for the bottom 3 on your screen there. That would be Celtic Hearts, Motherwell and Celtic, and obviously Celtic and Rangers. They're 3 major matches considering the fact they were 3 of the top 4 teams last season, with the exception of us that won the whole thing. So pretty interesting kind of start to the season for us. It's certainly going to be interesting to see how it goes, but I think overall we're not really going to complain about that too much. Like I said, very solid in the way we played for the most part, so I'm not going to argue with it, but not many, I can't obviously show this for obvious reasons, but if you want to see it, Sky Sports highlights, if you will go into Twitter, you can basically see it. So there is that. But I guess we'll get ready to wrap things up in the meantime. You'll probably see me post up, well, if you have notifications on, you'll probably see a little shot being posted to see how that goes. It might not be a permanent thing, we'll kind of see how the views go on it. If it does well enough, like go more than like 100, 200 views by the time the next stream comes around, it might be a more common thing that happens. But to everyone that's joined me on this stream, particularly on the first stream back in a number of months at this point, very pleased that you have decided to join me for it, and appreciate you all the same. It's been fucking class. We got what we needed. Not perfect, like I said, but overall solid. So if anyone's got any questions, you're more than welcome to throw them in chat before the pot, but if not, we'll be wrapping things up in the next minute or so. But I think overall we'll be very content as a community, right? Like 3 points, pretty decent. Got to see a key striker and what he can potentially offer, always good to see. And we just need to kick on for you, try and dig our heels in, because like I said, the games don't get easier to this point, right? You've got fucking some pretty interesting games coming up, even just in this month, but next month in specific, it gets hectic, man, because you've obviously got all the kind of, well, everyone in the Champions League, all the Champions League games that we need to deal with on top of those, like run-ins between Rangers, Motherwell, Hearts, like Aberdeen. All the big hitters are essentially in sequence, so it'll be interesting to see how we get through that phase, especially if we don't have the signings through the door. But I'm glad that all those games aren't right now in the first month, so that O'Neill has time to kind of set his tactics and get the extra names and bodies through the door that he needs to. Especially again based on the way that we had to go out with our shape today. Our left back is kind of fucking crucial, which just makes me confused as to why we haven't bought Sirachi. Like, we had him on a platter and we just didn't go for him, and it's a silly one, to be honest with you, because again we wouldn't have had to play Johnston as a left back and Donovan having to come on and cover for Johnston, Can't really argue with it otherwise. So let's get ready to wrap things up here, I guess. And I do hope Flash enjoys himself out there as well. He was quite happy in the Discord earlier on when he was posting the team selections and stuff. So yeah, one final time I suppose we'll kind of pop this up for those that are curious. Like I said, you won't probably get me for that one, but you'll probably get me for the Dundee United one. So next time it'll be guaranteed to be live. It'll be then. I'll be in the state. You might get a surprise stream depending on certain situations. Those who know anyway. But yeah, not going to argue with this one too much. If you want a little kind of breakdown of the transfers and stuff before we wrap things up, there's your kind of little list and rundown. Bowers obviously Fable, we got pretty much an assessment done for him and all that stuff as well. We'll probably be bringing in some of these names relatively soon. But for those that haven't seen it, Cancelleri is another name that's kind of come up over recent days. But those are the names you want to keep an eye on. Obviously, Orcas wouldn't be a bad signing either. But that's basically everything. But thank you for watching. Thank you for coming along. Thank you for taking the time to join us. 3 points, and I've got myself in a good position. So goals will come exactly at Irish Sports Fan. Could have put it better myself. We're not trying to see the grand end product out the gate. We're just trying to see where the potential is. We know what we're trying to build on, and we've kind of figured out where the clear and obvious issues are, at least in the early stages of that match. We just have to kind of make sure that we're doing the right things, and if we do, then who knows where we'll be in a month. We could be in a very, very good position where things are playing out very much in our favour, and we could kick on, maybe get a surprise Champions League run going, win the whole thing, then just in a few years Scotland win the Euros and the World Cup, and life is fucking good. That's what I hope. What's probably going to happen is it will sell off a whole bunch of other players, not really invest it, and then we'll have to just hope that the players that are brought in are absolute ballers, like what happened last season when we signed Ninkren and he turned out to be an absolute fucking ace in the rough, a diamond in the rough, a goddamn gem in a fucking sea of shite and sand, so to speak. So Hole looks like one of those players. I've talked about him for years, man, like pretty much since we last played Boro. I've kind of kept tabs on most of Boro's players, so I'm being here is a big thing. If you go to like the old VODs, well, you can't because I've totally forgot about that, I've taken them down, but in the old VODs I've kind of said that a lot. Him and Chris Gordon are 2 Scandinavian strikers I would have loved to have seen, so from that perspective I can't really argue with it, and I just hope that he kicks on, does what's needed, gets a few extra goals, and we should be fine. But yeah, anyway, let's actually wrap this up now. Thank you for watching, thank you for coming along, thank you for taking the time to join us, if you have from the start or if you've been here for the whole time. We'll get the win Dundee if we're watching Channel Rovers. Oh, of course I will, mate. Of course I will. Always keep tabs on any kind of British team, whether they, you know, regardless of what system they're in. But if you want an incredible game, that Dinamo Tsilipi and that fucking team for, I think it's Lithuania, that's 7-2, fucking insane. But yeah, anyway, that's enough football rambling for now. Thank you for taking the time to join us, it's been appreciated. As always, you can catch me on the next one. Like I said, that will be around the 15th. But I'll kind of make more announcements on the Discord for those that are curious. And yeah, that's basically everything. But it's a pleasure to have you come in and right at the end, Sherlock. Hope you enjoy the rest of your time, rest of your week, and we'll see you again the next time. Until then, though, hail, hail, have a good one. Celtic are still the best goddamn team in the world. Yes. Catch you after, boys. Pleasure as always. Bye.